Hidden beneath the surface of our world, there are places so shrouded in mystery, so forbidden, that even the bravest souls cannot set foot there. Islands forgotten by time, cryptic ruins buried in dense jungles, and facilities locked away from prying eyes. These are the places that seem to defy explanation, places where silence holds more secrets than the loudest screams. But what lies within? What truths are so dangerous that they must be sealed away forever? Tonight, we'll take you inside some of the most disturbing, most mysterious locations that no one can visit. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the unknown. Tucked away in the remote wilderness of northern New Mexico, hidden deep beneath the Earth's surface, lies a place known only to a select few: Dulce Base. Nestled in the San Juan Mountains near the Colorado border, this alleged underground facility is shrouded in secrecy and surrounded by an aura of uncertainty. Some believe it to be a hub of cutting-edge technology, while others insist it's a site for dark experiments, far beyond the reach of conventional science. But what is the truth, if there even is one? Dulce is not a place that can be easily located on a map, nor is it a destination accessible to any civilian. The area itself is remote, its rugged terrain largely uninhabited, save for a few scattered ranchers and curious travelers. The town of Dulce, the nearest settlement, is small and quiet, seemingly innocent. But there are whispers, murmurs carried through the dusty winds, suggesting that beneath the quiet surface, something far more complex and mysterious exists. The first stories of Dulce Base began to circulate in the 1980s, when a man named Paul Benowitz, a local businessman and UFO enthusiast, claimed to have intercepted strange radio transmissions and observed unusual activity near the area. Benowitz, convinced he was witnessing something extraordinary, soon found himself at the center of a conspiracy, alleging that the U.S. government had constructed a subterranean base in collaboration with extraterrestrial beings. These beings, according to Benowitz, were conducting experiments on human and animal subjects, interdimensional experiments, designed to unlock the deepest mysteries of existence. In the years that followed, Dulce Base would become the subject of intense speculation, and its legend would grow, fueled by countless conspiracy theories. Some claimed that the base stretched for miles beneath the Earth, consisting of multiple levels, each one more secretive and sinister than the last. Stories of alien species, hybrid experiments, and secret technologies persisted. A recurring theme was the supposed reptilian entities said to be working alongside human military personnel, hinting at a covert alliance between extraterrestrials and world governments. Yet, official sources deny the existence of such a base. The U.S. government maintains that Dulce is nothing more than a remote area, devoid of any significant infrastructure or military activity. But the absence of evidence has only deepened the mystery. If Dulce Base is real, why has it been so thoroughly concealed? Why do individuals who claim to have encountered the base or its personnel often face discrediting or intimidation? The lack of transparency surrounding the site only fuels the intrigue. Some have suggested that Dulce Base is merely a legend, a collection of rumors and falsehoods woven together by people with vivid imaginations or ulterior motives. They point to the often inconsistent accounts and the lack of hard evidence. Skeptics argue that the strange occurrences around Dulce can be explained by natural phenomena, unusual weather patterns, radio interference, or even the psychological effects of isolation and paranoia. After all, the San Juan Mountains are notorious for their rugged, almost otherworldly landscape, a setting that could easily inspire tales of hidden depths and secretive forces. However, the questions surrounding Dulce Base continue to persist. Why do some individuals who claim to have worked there, or been close to it, describe a facility unlike any known government base? Testimonies of underground tunnels, advanced technology, and alien-like beings remain as compelling as they are unsettling. And despite years of investigation, Dulce's secrets remain tightly locked away, buried under layers of both the earth and government denial. Is Dulce Base a myth, the product of imagination and conspiracy, or is there a deeper truth lurking beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered? While the answers may remain elusive, the mystery itself remains one of the most intriguing of our time. Perhaps, as time goes on, the world will uncover the truths hidden in these remote mountains. Or perhaps some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved, forever hidden in the shadows of the unknown. As we continue our journey through the world's most disturbing and mysterious places, we now turn our attention to one of the most secretive and unsettling locations known to only a few, the S4 facility. Nestled within the remote deserts of Nevada, just a stone's throw away from the infamous Area 51, the S4 facility remains one of the most elusive and most talked about military complexes in the world. But unlike its more famous counterpart, S4 is not marked on any map, and its very existence is largely denied by those in positions of power. The facility itself, allegedly built into the side of a mountain in the Nevada desert, is said to be a black site, a highly classified area where the U.S. government conducts experiments, research, and tests of technologies that are far beyond the scope of conventional science. The S4 complex is reported to consist of multiple underground hangars, some of which, according to certain testimonies, house reverse-engineered alien spacecraft, retrieved from crash sites or secret encounters with extraterrestrial forces. But the story of S4 does not begin with any official confirmation. Instead, it begins with a man named Bob Lazar, a physicist who, in 1989, claimed he had worked at a secret government facility near the Nevada test site. Lazar's allegations were both bold and audacious. He spoke of a hidden base known as S4, where government scientists and military personnel had been working on reverse engineering alien technology for decades. According to Lazar, the most advanced technology at the facility included a propulsion system based on an element 115, that was not known to science at the time. Lazar's statements, especially his descriptions of the spacecraft he supposedly saw while working at S4, sent shockwaves through the UFO and conspiracy communities. He described saucer-shaped craft, unlike anything seen before, capable of flight at speeds and maneuvers that defied conventional physics. He even went so far as to claim that these crafts used gravity manipulation to achieve flight, something that, according to Lazar, was powered by the mysterious element 115. To this day, element 115 remains a significant point of intrigue, as it was only confirmed in 2003, long after Lazar's claims, when scientists at a laboratory in Russia synthesized a form of the element. But Lazar's story doesn't end with technological marvels. He also detailed a far darker aspect of S4, one that involved the testing of these alien craft on human subjects. Lazar alleged that the government had, at one point, experimented on people, subjecting them to mind-bending technologies and unearthly phenomena in order to understand the true capabilities of the spacecraft. The facility, according to Lazar, was a nexus for highly classified experiments that blurred the line between science and something far more dangerous. But whether these claims are the result of a deeply altered perception or the testimony of a whistleblower willing to expose a government conspiracy is something that remains open to debate. Skeptics of Lazar's story point out inconsistencies in his background and question the credibility of his claims. They argue that Lazar's education and professional history may have been exaggerated, and some suggest that his desire for fame or attention may have led him to fabricate his experiences. Others, however, point to the fact that Lazar's account matches the experiences of other alleged whistleblowers who have claimed to work in similarly secretive facilities. And then there are those who claim that the very fact that the government has gone to such lengths to suppress Lazar's story going so far as to erase his records and deny his very existence, suggests that there may be more to his story than meets the eye. Even so, official sources continue to deny the existence of S4, maintaining that there is no such facility in the area. The U.S. government has kept a tight lid on any information about the Nevada desert, as it has done with Area 51 for decades. To this day, the military continues to deny the connection between the two sites, despite the proximity and the similar nature of the claims. Some speculate that the military's denials are merely an attempt to divert attention away from the truth, while others believe that S4 is a cover for a much larger, far more complex network of underground bases and research facilities scattered across the country. Then we realize, what if S4 and the technology contained within it is part of a much larger, more complicated web of governmental and extraterrestrial collaboration that has yet to be fully uncovered? Or perhaps the facility is a testing ground for experiments that remain so dangerous, so outside the boundaries of known science, that it's safer for everyone if they remain locked away. The mystery surrounding S4 is one that refuses to die, despite the passing of decades. With each new theory, each new piece of testimony, the puzzle grows ever more intricate, yet remains ever more out of reach. Whether S4 is a shadowy military outpost, a site for extraterrestrial experimentation, or something else entirely, one thing is certain: the truth, if it exists, remains buried deep beneath the earth, hidden away from public view. And perhaps in the end, that is exactly where it needs to stay. As we move further into our exploration of the world's most disturbing and enigmatic places, we arrive at a location that few people have ever set eyes on: Mount Hayes. Located in the remote wilderness of Alaska, Mount Hayes stands tall, almost defiant, against the northern skyline. Its rugged, snow-capped peaks are often shrouded in clouds, creating an atmosphere of both beauty and foreboding. But it is not simply its imposing presence that makes Mount Hayes mysterious. No, there is something about this mountain that has drawn attention for decades, particularly because of the eerie and unexplained occurrences that seem to surround it. Mount Hayes is part of the Alaska Range, a stretch of jagged mountains that has long been a place of intrigue for adventurers, scientists, and the military alike. Towering at an elevation of 13,832 feet, it is not the tallest peak in the range, but it is certainly one of the most isolated. Few dare to scale its heights, as the surrounding terrain is treacherous. Dense forests, ice fields, and glaciers that seem to stretch endlessly in all directions. In fact, the mountain's remote location has made it difficult to study, and this very isolation has led to the growth of a strange mythos surrounding it. The first whispers about Mount Hayes began among locals and indigenous peoples, who spoke of mysterious lights in the sky and strange occurrences near the mountain. For centuries, the Dena'ina and Otna tribes, who have lived in the area for millennia, have passed down stories of unusual phenomena. Their folklore mentions sky spirits and firebirds that were said to appear near the peak, lighting up the skies with glowing colors and moving in ways that defied the laws of nature. These early stories were often dismissed as mere superstition, ancient tales woven from the natural forces of the land, told to explain the unexplainable. However, in the 20th century, a number of unsettling reports from mountaineers and explorers began to surface, lending an eerie credibility to these legends. In 1949, an American expedition to Mount Hayes was forced to turn back after their equipment was inexplicably damaged by a series of unexplainable phenomena. At first, the cause was believed to be simple weather conditions: fierce winds, unexpected snowstorms, and treacherous ice. But the team members began to report other, more unsettling experiences: the sudden failure of their communications equipment, strange electrical surges in their instruments, and the distinct feeling of being watched. Some claimed to have seen lights moving above the mountain in patterns they couldn't explain. These were no ordinary flashes of lightning or distant reflections. They were anomalous, darting across the sky, shifting in colors and form. Over the years, these sightings would only increase. Airplanes flying near the mountain reported unusual readings on their radar, as if they were being tracked by something unknown. A few of these planes even veered off course, allegedly pulled off their flight paths by magnetic disturbances or other unexplained forces. Mount Hayes, it seemed, was no ordinary mountain. It had become a focal point for mysterious occurrences that spanned decades. Of course, many have tried to explain these strange events using natural phenomena. Some believe that the anomalies near Mount Hayes could be the result of electromagnetic fields, possibly caused by rare mineral deposits in the mountain's rock. Alaska is home to numerous such magnetic anomalies, and it's possible that Mount Hayes, like other parts of the region, might possess a unique geological composition that affects electronic devices and the human senses. Others have suggested that the phenomenon could be the result of atmospheric conditions, such as the ionosphere, interacting with the mountain's peak, creating strange, glowing lights that resemble the famed northern lights, but behave in unusual patterns. Yet, these mainstream explanations seem to fall short when confronted with the many inconsistencies in the reported experiences. Some witnesses, after returning from the area, reported a disturbing feeling of time distortion. Several mountaineers claimed that their watches and clocks malfunctioned, often appearing to run much faster or slower than they should. There are even accounts of people losing track of time altogether, only to later realize they had been in the area for hours or even days without their knowledge. Could these strange occurrences be linked to an unknown energy field emanating from the mountain? Or is there another more paranormal explanation? In the 1960s, a group of scientists attempting to measure seismic activity around the mountain was caught in a snowstorm that lasted far longer than it should have. Upon their return to base, they claimed to have discovered footprints in the snow that led to the summit, but the snowstorm had been so violent that it should have erased all traces of such marks. When they reached the summit, they found an abandoned camp with no signs of human activity, yet the equipment was perfectly intact, as if it had been left in a hurry. What caused this strange, unexplained disappearance, and why were the camp's belongings untouched? Was the team's report credible, or was this just another layer of mystery that would be swallowed by the mountain's shadows? Further compounding the mystery are the strange noises often reported by those who venture near the mountain. On numerous occasions, people have described hearing low, guttural sounds, like a deep rumbling beneath the earth coming from the very core of Mount Hayes. These noises are not earthquakes, nor are they the natural sounds one might expect from an avalanche or shifting glaciers. Instead, they are the sort of sounds that stir an ancient fear, sounds that feel as though they are reverberating from an unknown source, something far beyond human comprehension. Some have even speculated that Mount Hayes could be home to something far more unusual, perhaps an ancient underground structure, built by a lost civilization, or even something extraterrestrial. The idea that the mountain could be a gateway, a place where the physical and metaphysical intersect, has been suggested by a number of conspiracy theorists. Could the mountain be hiding something so extraordinary, so terrifying, that it must remain hidden from human eyes? If so, what is the true purpose of the mountain, and what secrets does it guard so jealously? The mystery of Mount Hayes is one that remains unsolved. With its remote location, harsh terrain, and the enigmatic phenomena that continue to plague the area, it seems as though the mountain is destined to keep its secrets forever locked away. But as we look toward the future, we must ask ourselves, what if the answers lie beneath the surface, hidden deep within the heart of Mount Hayes, waiting for someone to uncover them? And perhaps, just as importantly, should we really be so eager to know what lies in the shadow of this mysterious, impenetrable peak? As we leave the stark peaks of Mount Hayes behind and delve deeper into the unknown, we find ourselves drawn to another enigmatic location, one that lies far beneath the surface of the Earth, hidden in the murky depths of Lake Baikal. This ancient, mysterious body of water, located in Siberia, Russia, is known for its extraordinary depth, its crystal-clear waters, and its ancient, almost otherworldly presence. But it is not just the lake itself that stirs curiosity. Beneath its vast, ice-covered surface, a far darker mystery may be concealed, an underwater base, said to be far older than anything humankind has ever built. Lake Baikal is the world's deepest freshwater lake, with depths reaching over 5,000 feet. It's a place that holds more water than all the Great Lakes combined, and its age, at over 25 million years, makes it one of the oldest lakes on the planet. Its waters are home to a unique ecosystem with species found nowhere else on Earth, including the famous Baikal seal. But while the natural wonders of the lake are well documented, there are rumors, whispers, and unverified reports that something far more extraordinary lies beneath. The legend of the Lake Baikal underwater base began to circulate in the late 20th century, with theories ranging from ancient civilizations to alien visitors. Some claim that the base is the remains of an ancient, long-lost city, submerged by the lake's rising waters. Others believe it could be a more recent construction, an outpost built by an unknown civilization, or perhaps a covert military installation established during the Cold War. The most intriguing theory, however, revolves around the possibility of an extraterrestrial connection. Could this underwater base be the result of alien visitors who chose Lake Baikal as a perfect hidden location for their secretive operations? One of the first modern accounts of the base came in the 1980s, when a group of Soviet researchers, exploring the lake's depths in submersible vessels, reported unusual findings near the bottom of the lake. According to the testimonies of some of the crew, the submersibles detected large, unnatural structures that appeared to be built from materials that were not consistent with anything they had encountered before. The structures were described as geometric in nature, angular, deliberate, and far too precise to have been formed by natural processes. Some crew members claimed that they saw lights flickering from within the structures, further fueling the speculation that the base was in use. While these reports were never fully verified, they were enough to spark the imagination of those who already believed in the existence of hidden technologies and secretive operations beneath the surface of Lake Baikal. Over time, more rumors surfaced about the lake's depths. Divers have spoken of encountering strange objects that seem to defy explanation, while sonar scans of the lake's floor have revealed large, unnatural formations, some of which appear to extend for miles. These formations do not appear to be natural geological features, but instead resemble the remnants of a constructed, purposeful design. The Soviet Union, known for its propensity to build underground and underwater bases during the Cold War, has been a focal point in many of the more speculative theories surrounding the underwater base. According to some, the base was constructed by the Soviets as a way to carry out secret experiments, perhaps in the fields of nuclear energy, deep-sea exploration, or even extraterrestrial research. There have been claims that Soviet officials used the lake's remote location and its vast, unexplored depths to carry out research beyond the reach of prying eyes, well hidden from both the public and the West. But was the facility truly built by humans, or could it be the remnants of something far older, something far more mysterious? The most speculative theories suggest that Lake Baikal might be hiding the remains of an ancient civilization that once thrived beneath the water's surface. Some theorists point to the discovery of mysterious artifacts and structures around the lake's shoreline, circular formations and stone pillars that bear resemblance to ancient ruins found elsewhere in the world. Could these artifacts be the remnants of an advanced civilization, one that existed thousands of years ago and built a sophisticated underwater city at the bottom of the lake? If this is the case, how much of this lost civilization remains hidden, buried deep beneath the cold, dark waters of Lake Baikal? Adding to the mystery is the lake's strange, almost mystical reputation. The indigenous Buryat people, who have lived around the lake for centuries, hold Baikal in deep reverence, seeing it as a place of spiritual significance. They speak of powerful energies emanating from the lake's depths, of unseen forces that watch over the waters. Some claim that the lake is a gateway to another world, an interdimensional portal that connects Earth to realms beyond our understanding. Could these beliefs hold some grain of truth? Might the lake, with its uncharted depths and its seemingly unnatural phenomena, be concealing something that transcends both time and space? Modern scientific expeditions to Lake Baikal have yet to find any conclusive evidence of the underwater base. While sonar imaging and submersible dives have revealed strange anomalies and unexplained structures, there is no official confirmation that a base of any kind exists beneath the surface. Scientists argue that the strange readings may be the result of natural geological formations, such as ancient underwater volcanic activity or the shifting of tectonic plates. And yet, these explanations seem insufficient when confronted with the strange patterns, the unnatural symmetry of the formations, and the ongoing reports of strange phenomena from those who have ventured into the lake's depths. As with many such mysteries, the truth remains elusive, tantalizingly out of reach. Was there ever an underwater base beneath Lake Baikal, or is this simply the product of overactive imaginations, fueled by rumors and misinterpretations of natural occurrences? Could the lake be hiding something far more extraordinary than we can comprehend? Perhaps evidence of ancient civilizations, extraterrestrial visitors, or technologies that challenge our understanding of science? The only certainty is that Lake Baikal remains one of the most mysterious places on Earth, its depths concealing secrets that may never be uncovered. For now, the lake continues to guard its mysteries, its icy waters a silent witness to centuries of unanswered questions. And as we ponder the stories and the theories that surround it, we must ask ourselves, what is truly hidden beneath the surface of Lake Baikal, and how much longer will it remain concealed from the world above? As we move from the depths of Lake Baikal to the icy reaches of the southernmost continent, we come upon one of the most enduring and perplexing mysteries ever imagined. A mystery buried beneath the frozen wastes of Antarctica. Known to some as the Hollow Earth Entrance, this theory has fascinated conspiracy theorists, explorers, and scientists alike for centuries. It is a place that, if it exists, could redefine everything we know about the Earth itself, its history, and perhaps even the very nature of reality. Antarctica, with its vast stretches of uninhabitable ice and snow, has long been a place of both awe and fear. The continent is shrouded in mystery, not only because of its extreme environment, but also because of the many secrets it holds beneath its surface. Theories of lost civilizations, extraterrestrial activity, and uncharted territories have flourished around the icy expanse. And within this frozen wasteland, a peculiar theory continues to captivate the imaginations of those daring enough to look beyond the ice. An entrance to a hollow Earth, hidden somewhere in the depths of Antarctica. The concept of a hollow Earth is an ancient one, with roots stretching back to the 17th century. It was once believed that the Earth was hollow, with vast inner worlds and civilizations existing beneath the crust. This idea persisted for centuries, with the likes of Edgar Allan Poe and Jules Verne incorporating it into their works of fiction. But it wasn't just in literature that the hollow Earth concept took hold. It also gained traction in the world of exploration. Early adventurers and scientists speculated that there could be entrances to this vast inner world located at the poles, where the Earth's crust was said to be thinner. The specific idea of an entrance to the hollow Earth in Antarctica began to take shape in the early 20th century, with some explorers suggesting that a massive opening existed in the ice sheet, hidden from view and well protected by the harsh environment. One of the most notable proponents of this theory was Admiral Richard E. Byrd, a pioneering American aviator and explorer. Byrd is perhaps best known for his expeditions to the Antarctic region, where he flew over vast stretches of uncharted land. In his journals and interviews, Byrd described seeing strange phenomena during his flights over Antarctica, including areas of warm air, unusual geological formations, and magnetic anomalies that suggested something far beyond ordinary discovery was at play. In 1947, Byrd's most famous expedition took him even deeper into the Antarctic interior, where he reportedly discovered an opening in the ice, which some believe could be the entrance to a subterranean world. Though Byrd's accounts of these findings were somewhat vague and inconsistent, they fueled a wave of speculation about the existence of hidden realms beneath the ice. Some believe that Byrd encountered a vast underground civilization, possibly one that has existed for thousands of years, untouched by the outside world. Others have suggested that these unexplained phenomena could be evidence of extraterrestrial activity, an alien base hidden deep within the Earth. Byrd's claims, however, remain difficult to verify. Many have dismissed his reports as exaggerations, possibly the result of the extreme conditions and isolation of the Antarctic environment. Others argue that the magnetic anomalies and strange weather patterns Byrd observed could have been caused by natural geological processes, such as the shifting of tectonic plates or the unique characteristics of Antarctica's landscape. Nonetheless, the possibility of a hidden entrance to a vast underground world continues to intrigue those who believe in the hollow Earth theory. Over the decades, the legend of the hollow Earth entrance has been further fueled by various alleged sightings and reports of unexplained phenomena near Antarctica. Some claim that satellites have captured images of a massive circular opening in the ice, an area where the ice seems to form a perfect unnatural ring. Others report strange signals emanating from beneath the ice, suggesting the presence of structures or machinery far beyond anything known to current technology. Scientists, of course, dismiss these claims as misunderstandings or artifacts of faulty equipment, but the mystery remains. The question of whether there is, in fact, an entrance to the hollow Earth in Antarctica hinges on the interpretation of the evidence, what can be seen and what can only be speculated upon. Given Antarctica's extreme conditions and the inaccessibility of much of the continent, it is difficult to conduct thorough investigations into these claims. The harsh weather, combined with the politically sensitive nature of the region, means that very few researchers have the freedom to explore the area in depth. And even those who are allowed to investigate are often tightly controlled by the various national interests that have staked a claim to portions of the continent. Yet, the theories persist. Some argue that the entrance, if it exists, is carefully concealed by governments or powerful organizations, either to protect a scientific discovery of unimaginable proportions or to hide a more sinister truth. Could the entrance be part of a larger secret, perhaps evidence of a long-lost civilization, hidden for millennia beneath the ice? Or could it be a location of strategic importance, containing resources or technology that would reshape the balance of power on Earth? Some even go so far as to suggest that the entrance is a gateway to other realms or dimensions, a point of contact between our world and another entirely different one. But perhaps the most perplexing aspect of the hollow Earth theory is the sheer absence of concrete evidence. No photographs, no verified scientific data, no confirmed reports from modern-day expeditions, provide definitive proof of an entrance to this alleged inner world. What we are left with are rumors, myths, and the occasional unexplained phenomenon, each one fueling the belief that something extraordinary lies hidden beneath the ice. As we explore this theory further, we are left to wonder, if there is indeed an entrance to the hollow earth in Antarctica, what could it possibly lead to? What secrets does the frozen expanse conceal? And why, after all these years, has no definitive evidence of this strange underground world been made public? Perhaps the answers are buried beneath the thick layers of ice and snow, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to search for them. Or perhaps the mystery will remain unsolved, an enigma that continues to haunt the imagination of those who dare to wonder what might lie beneath the Earth's surface. As we continue our journey through the world's most disturbing and mysterious places, we now turn our attention to a place that is both imposing and enigmatic: Mount Yamantau, a towering peak nestled deep in the southern Ural Mountains of Russia. This imposing, isolated mountain range is home to one of the most secretive and mysterious sites in the world, a location that, for years, has fueled a mix of conspiracy theories, military speculation, and whispered rumors. Mount Yamantau's reputation is built on its proximity to a vast underground complex, one that is rumored to be not only immense in scale but also incredibly secretive. The mountain itself, standing at 1,640 meters above sea level, offers a bleak, almost otherworldly landscape. Its rugged slopes are covered with thick forests and snow-capped peaks, giving it the appearance of a place untouched by human hands. But beneath the surface of this seemingly tranquil environment, an unsettling secret may lie hidden. Satellite images of the area have revealed strange, unnatural features in the landscape, leading many to believe that a sprawling underground facility exists beneath the mountain, its purpose unclear, its nature unknown. The first suspicions about Mount Yamantau began to surface in the early 1990s, after the dissolution of the Soviet Union, when satellite images revealed unusual activity in the area. What seemed like a series of enormous, well-constructed tunnels and massive concrete bunkers piqued the interest of intelligence agencies and military observers. The sheer scale of the construction, combined with its remote location, led some to speculate that the site could be part of a highly secretive military project. Rumors began to swirl that Mount Yamantau was home to a massive underground facility designed to house the Soviet leadership in the event of a nuclear war. It was said to be part of a network of bunkers built to survive a catastrophic event, an apocalyptic contingency plan that could ensure the survival of key military and political figures, as well as maintain control over the country in the aftermath of such a disaster. But the true nature of the site remains shrouded in mystery. The Russian government has consistently denied the existence of any such complex beneath Mount Yamantau, and efforts to investigate the area have been met with tight restrictions. Access to the mountain is severely limited, and the Russian military has refused to acknowledge the rumors surrounding the site, further fueling the belief that something significant is hidden there. Some have suggested that the facility could be the remnants of Soviet-era projects, now abandoned but still classified. Others argue that the site is part of a more modern operation, one that is still in active use but shielded from public scrutiny. As with many of the world's most mysterious places, the lack of hard evidence leaves room for speculation. One of the most persistent theories surrounding Mount Yamantau is that it houses an underground military complex so vast and intricate that it could serve as a self-sufficient city capable of surviving for decades in isolation. Some suggest that the site is designed to be completely independent of the outside world, with its own food, water, and energy supplies, capable of withstanding a nuclear conflict. The sheer size of the complex, if it exists, would make it one of the largest underground facilities in the world, more extensive than any other known bunkers, such as those found in the United States or Europe. But what would such a facility be used for? And why has the Russian government remained so tight-lipped about it? Theories abound. Some believe that the complex could be intended for military purposes, perhaps as a command center for Russia's strategic forces in the event of a nuclear war. Others suggest that it could house a research facility where experiments of a highly classified nature are carried out, possibly involving advanced weapons, biological research, or even extraterrestrial technology. The Russian government has a long history of secrecy when it comes to military operations and experimental technologies, and this facility could be a part of that tradition. Another theory proposes that Mount Yamantau is not simply a military outpost, but could also be linked to something far older, an ancient and hidden civilization. Some conspiracy theorists claim that the mountain is home to a secretive group that has known about the location of underground structures for centuries, long before the Soviet Union even existed. These theories are often speculative and unsubstantiated, but they add to the aura of mystery that surrounds the area. Is it possible that Mount Yamantau has been the site of ancient knowledge or technologies preserved beneath the Earth's surface for millennia, waiting to be uncovered? In recent years, the speculation surrounding Mount Yamantau has intensified, with more reports of strange activity in the region. Satellite images continue to reveal an expanding network of tunnels and buildings in the vicinity of the mountain. However, the Russian government has remained steadfast in its refusal to acknowledge the presence of any such facility. This continued secrecy has led some to believe that the truth is far more significant than what is being revealed to the public. If Mount Yamantau is indeed home to a vast underground complex, what is being kept there, and why has the Russian government gone to such lengths to conceal it? The mystery of Mount Yamantau is further compounded by its geographic isolation. The southern Ural Mountains are one of the most remote and inhospitable regions of Russia, far from the centers of political and military activity. This geographic seclusion only adds to the intrigue. Why would a facility of such magnitude be built in such a remote location? Could it be that the mountain's isolation makes it the ideal place for a covert operation, safe from the eyes of the world? Despite the persistent rumors and theories, the truth about Mount Yamantau remains elusive. Its towering peaks continue to watch over the region, guarding the secrets that lie beneath. And perhaps that is the most disturbing aspect of the mystery, the unknown. What is buried within the mountain, hidden beneath layers of rock and ice, waiting for the right moment to be revealed? Until more evidence comes to light, the mountain will continue to stand as one of the most mysterious, unexplored places on Earth, an enigma that may never be solved, but one that will keep drawing the curious toward its shadowed depths. As we leave the shadowed slopes of Mount Yamantau behind and travel further into the realm of disturbing and inexplicable mysteries, we now turn our attention to a place that has captivated conspiracy theorists, adventurers, and those fascinated by the hidden corners of history, the Montauk Project Site. Located on the eastern tip of Long Island, New York, at the isolated Camp Hero State Park, this site is the epicenter of one of the most enduring and disturbing conspiracy theories of the modern age. The story of Montauk is as bizarre as it is unsettling, blending elements of mind control, time travel, and government experimentation, all set against the backdrop of a once secret military facility. The Montauk Project is said to have begun during the Cold War, when the U.S. military, in collaboration with various scientific agencies, allegedly conducted a series of covert experiments at the Camp Hero site. On the surface, the base was originally built during World War II as a coastal defense station. Its purpose was clear: to protect the East Coast from potential threats, with a radar system designed to detect incoming aircraft. But in the years that followed, it is said that the true nature of the project took on a far more sinister turn. In the 1980s, the first whispers about the Montauk Project began to surface, with claims from former military personnel, whistleblowers, and conspiracy theorists suggesting that the base had become the site of bizarre and classified experiments, many of which were carried out in the name of national security. According to these accounts, the Montauk Project was an offshoot of the Philadelphia experiment, a controversial and largely debunked tale of a failed attempt to make a U.S. Navy ship invisible to radar in 1943. The Montauk Project, it is said, sought to extend the scope of this research, pushing the boundaries of physics and human consciousness. At the heart of the Montauk Project story is the concept of mind control, specifically the use of electromagnetic waves and psychological manipulation to control individuals' thoughts and actions. Some reports claim that the military experimented with ways to train soldiers, using advanced psychological techniques to alter their behavior, memories, and even perception of reality. The goal, allegedly, was to create perfect, unknowing operatives who could be used for espionage, warfare, or intelligence gathering. If true, this would mark a chilling step into the realm of human rights violations, with psychological experiments performed on unwitting subjects, possibly even children. But the mind control experiments were not the only aspect of the Montauk Project. Another facet of the story involves the manipulation of time itself. According to some accounts, the facility was used to conduct experiments involving time travel, teleportation, and the creation of portals to other dimensions. The theory is that through the use of high-powered radar systems, advanced technology, and unknown forces, the researchers were able to open rifts in time, allowing individuals to travel between different moments or even to distant locations in the past or future. Those who have written about the project suggest that these experiments were not only disastrous, but dangerous, leading to rifts in space-time that caused untold disruptions. The Montauk Project grew in notoriety following the release of several books in the 1990s, most notably The Montauk Project: Experiments in Time by Preston Nichols and Peter Moon. In their work, Nichols and Moon detailed what they described as the real-life experiments that took place at the site. According to Nichols, who claims to have worked at the base, the research conducted at Montauk was not just theoretical, but was tested on live subjects who were subjected to extreme psychological and physical trauma in an effort to manipulate their minds and bodies. One of the most disturbing aspects of the Montauk Project narrative is the idea that the government used children in these experiments. According to Nichols and others, children were taken to the Montauk facility, where they were subjected to horrific experiments in mind control, time travel, and teleportation. Some even claim that children were used as lab rats, their memories erased and their personalities manipulated to create the ideal soldiers or agents. The cruelty of these experiments, if they are to be believed, reflects a dark chapter of human experimentation hidden behind layers of secrecy and military agendas. But how much of this is true? The story of the Montauk Project is clouded in uncertainty, with few concrete facts to verify the more fantastical claims. Skeptics argue that the accounts of time travel, teleportation, and mind control are nothing more than modern myths, the product of vivid imaginations and the allure of government conspiracies. Some suggest that the Montauk stories are a blend of fact and fiction, perhaps born out of real classified military projects, but later distorted and exaggerated through word of mouth and speculative literature. However, the mystery surrounding the site continues to endure. Even after the base was decommissioned in the 1980s and the land was turned over to the state of New York as a public park, visitors and locals alike continue to report strange occurrences around the Montauk area. Some claim to have seen unmarked vehicles near the old radar towers, while others describe strange electromagnetic anomalies in the vicinity. Some even suggest that the site remains a hub of hidden government activity, research that is too dangerous or too controversial to be publicly acknowledged. Perhaps the most compelling evidence of something strange at Montauk lies in the secrecy that has surrounded the site for so long. Despite the release of certain documents and accounts from those who claim to have worked there, The full truth about the Montauk project remains hidden behind layers of military classification, and while the U.S. government has denied any involvement in the kind of experiments described by Nichols and others, the silence surrounding the site only deepens the mystery. Could it be that the Montauk project was real, and that its experiments were so far-reaching that they still remain classified to this day? Or is it simply a web of half-truths, spun from a combination of urban legends and real-world military experimentation? Even more troubling is the question of why the site continues to be kept so secret. If Montauk was indeed the location of highly controversial and unethical experiments, why is there no clear, official acknowledgement of what took place? And if these experiments were, as some claim, intended to manipulate human minds or alter the very fabric of time itself, what consequences might remain for those who participated, or for those who were unwittingly affected? The Montauk project site remains an enigma, a place where reality and conspiracy blur, leaving us to question what lies beneath the surface. Is it a relic of Cold War-era military experiments, an outgrowth of the darkest corners of human ambition? Or is it a carefully constructed myth, born from the fear of the unknown and the desire for a larger, more sinister story? The truth may be far more elusive than any of us can imagine, hidden in the shadows of history, waiting for the right moment to be revealed, or perhaps to remain hidden forever. As we move from the shadows of Montauk and the intrigue of classified experiments, we now find ourselves in the arid, wind-swept plains of northeastern Utah, home to one of the most unsettling and mysterious locations on Earth, Skinwalker Ranch. Known by many names and feared by even more, this place has been the focal point of strange happenings, inexplicable phenomena, and terrifying encounters for decades. Its reputation precedes it, a place where reality itself seems to warp and bend in the most disturbing of ways. Skinwalker Ranch, spanning approximately 512 acres, lies just outside the town of Ballard, Utah, nestled near the Uinta Basin. The land itself is unremarkable at first glance. Vast open fields, sparse vegetation, and an occasional cluster of scrubby trees. But as one approaches the ranch, there's an undeniable sense that something is different here, something unsettling about the land. Over the years, numerous reports have described strange lights in the sky, eerie creatures seen in the distance, and even moments when the very fabric of time seems to fracture. The name Skinwalker itself is steeped in history and culture, tied to Native American folklore, particularly from the Navajo people. In their tradition, a skinwalker is a shapeshifter, a person who has the ability to transform into an animal, often a wolf, coyote, or bear, and is associated with dark, forbidden magic. The legends surrounding these entities are rooted in a deep fear and respect for the supernatural. To this day, Navajo elders are often reluctant to speak about them, believing that doing so might invite misfortune. But the name Skinwalker Ranch doesn't just refer to folklore. Since the 1990s, it has become a hotbed for paranormal activity. Some suggest that the ranch sits atop a powerful nexus of energy, perhaps a gateway to another world or dimension. Others believe that the strange occurrences at the ranch are the result of something far more sinister, something that is deeply connected to both the land and the people who have lived there. It all began in the mid-1990s when the Sherman family, the ranch's most recent owners, moved to the property, only to experience a series of unexplainable events. Their cattle were found mutilated in bizarre and grotesque ways, organs removed with surgical precision, their bodies drained of blood, yet there were no tracks or signs of predators. The Shermans also reported seeing strange lights in the sky, bright, hovering orbs that would dart across the horizon, vanishing in the blink of an eye. Perhaps most disturbingly, the family encountered large, wolf-like creatures that would appear out of nowhere, only to be unexplainably gone moments later. The Shermans were not the first to experience these phenomena. In fact, there have been rumors of odd occurrences at the ranch dating back to the 1950s. The Ute Native American tribe, who lived in the area, have long regarded the land with trepidation, believing it to be cursed or haunted. In the 1970s, a previous owner of the ranch reported witnessing a large, shadowy figure moving with unnatural speed across the property, seemingly impervious to the physical laws of nature. Some claim that the land has always been a place of supernatural power, a place where the boundary between worlds is thinner than it is elsewhere. But it was the Shermans' experiences that attracted widespread attention. The family's ordeal led them to contact the authorities, which in turn attracted the attention of Bigelow Aerospace, a private aerospace company with a long history of researching UFOs and paranormal phenomena. In 1996, Bigelow purchased the ranch, renaming it the Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies (BAASS) site, and began funding extensive investigations into the strange happenings. Over the years, the research team employed cutting-edge technology, including infrared cameras, motion sensors, and electromagnetic field (EMF) detectors, to try to capture evidence of the paranormal activity. Yet, despite these high-tech efforts, the phenomena continued to elude capture. The investigation uncovered some truly bizarre findings. Researchers reported a range of strange experiences: mysterious, untraceable lights in the sky, mysterious entities observed at the edge of the property, and even physical effects on the team members themselves. There were accounts of researchers feeling sudden, overwhelming feelings of dread or anxiety, as if something unseen were watching them. Some team members even reported being physically attacked, experiencing burns or scratches from unknown sources. One investigator, after encountering a strange object in the sky, was reportedly struck by an intense wave of nausea and vertigo, which lasted for days. The sheer variety of phenomena experienced at Skinwalker Ranch makes it unique among paranormal sites. Most locations known for unexplained events typically focus on one type of phenomenon: ghosts, UFO sightings, or cryptid encounters. But Skinwalker Ranch seems to be a hotbed for all manner of inexplicable occurrences. UFOs and strange lights, cryptid sightings, including giant wolf-like creatures, and shadowy figures that seem to slip between dimensions. All of these have been reported. The diversity of these events suggests that whatever is occurring at the ranch is not confined to one category of the paranormal, but rather is something much more complex. One of the most persistent theories regarding the phenomena at Skinwalker Ranch is the idea that the land itself holds some kind of powerful energy. Some researchers propose that the area is located on a geological vortex, a place where natural energies from the Earth interact with electromagnetic forces in such a way that they create a kind of doorway to another dimension or parallel universe. This could explain the strange lights, the sudden appearances of unknown creatures, and even the distorted experiences of time reported by those who visit. Other theories delve deeper into the idea of interdimensional portals. Could Skinwalker Ranch be a site where the laws of physics break down, allowing for the crossing of boundaries between different realms? Are these skinwalkers and shadowy figures glimpsed on the property manifestations of these interdimensional entities? Or could the land be a gathering point for alien activity, with UFOs using the ranch as a base of operations, or even a staging area for larger, more widespread phenomena? The truth, as with most mysteries surrounding the ranch, remains elusive. Despite years of investigation and countless attempts to capture tangible evidence, the events that occur at Skinwalker Ranch continue to defy explanation. No single theory or piece of evidence can fully account for the wide range of experiences reported. Perhaps this is the most disturbing element of all, the sense that the ranch holds secrets far beyond our understanding, and that it may never fully reveal its truths. As we reflect on the mystery of Skinwalker Ranch, we are left to wonder, is it truly a place where the boundary between worlds is thinner? or is there something more sinister at play? What is the source of the strange lights, the monstrous creatures, and the inexplicable events that have plagued the land for so many years? The mystery of Skinwalker Ranch continues to haunt those who dare to seek answers, and like so many other disturbing places, its secrets may remain buried, hidden from view, for reasons we may never fully comprehend. As we move from the eerie mysteries of Skinwalker Ranch and the enigmatic world of time manipulation and interdimensional portals, we now turn our attention to a place of mystery that stretches back into the dark days of World War II, Die Glocke, or the Bell. The name itself is haunting, evoking images of a powerful, ominous object, something that could change the course of history. The story surrounding Die Glocke is a blend of verified history, rumor, and speculation, all wrapped in secrecy and military intrigue. Die Glocke is said to have been a secret Nazi weapon developed during the final years of the war, a project shrouded in extreme secrecy and built in the remote forests of Poland, near the small town of Ludwikowice. Little is known for certain about the actual site where the device was supposedly constructed, but according to various reports and post-war accounts, it was an area that was heavily guarded, surrounded by thick forests and harsh terrain, an ideal location for a highly classified project. The device itself, according to the most well-known accounts, was a large, bell-shaped object, some 12 feet high and 9 feet in diameter. Descriptions of Die Glocke vary, but most agree that it was an advanced piece of technology, unlike anything the world had seen before. The bell was said to have been made of a metallic substance that was not identified by contemporary scientists, and it was believed to have operated on a combination of advanced propulsion systems, energy sources, and perhaps even elements of occult science. The primary purpose of Die Glocke remains unclear, but it is widely believed to have been intended as a weapon, possibly a gravity-defying device capable of altering the fabric of space and time itself. The first mention of Die Glocke came in the late 1990s when German journalist and researcher Igor Witkowski published his book Prawda o Wunderwaffe, The Truth About the Wonder Weapon, which brought the secret project into the public eye. According to Witkowski, he uncovered details from post-war documents, testimonies from former Nazi scientists, and interviews with surviving members of the Wehrmacht that suggested that the Nazis were working on advanced technologies, some of which were far beyond their time. Witkowski described Die Glocke as a time machine, or anti-gravity device, and his research suggested that the Nazis were not only experimenting with highly advanced engineering, but also with the potential for altering the laws of physics. Some claim that the bell-shaped device was capable of producing a powerful electromagnetic field that could warp gravity, and that it was part of a larger Nazi Wunderwaffe, wonder weapon program, aimed at developing weapons of unimaginable power. But there are no verified records of the project, and the true nature of Die Glocke remains one of the most debated topics in World War II conspiracy theories. According to some reports, Die Glocke was developed under the supervision of Nazi scientists like Hans Kammler, a high-ranking SS officer and engineer who oversaw numerous advanced military projects, including the construction of the V-2 rocket. Kammler was known for his interest in occultism and supernatural theories, and some researchers suggest that this interest may have played a role in the development of Die Glocke. The idea that the Nazis were experimenting with esoteric science and occult knowledge has been a part of the broader mythology surrounding the Third Reich, with claims that Hitler and his inner circle sought to harness ancient, mystical knowledge in their quest for world domination. Despite these claims, the details surrounding the development of Die Glocke remain elusive. Some suggest that it was built at a secret underground facility in the mountains of Poland, specifically in a place known as the Wolfram Project, or Rees Project, which was a vast network of tunnels and bunkers constructed by forced laborers during the war. The exact purpose of the Rees Project has been the subject of much speculation, Some believe it was intended as a site for developing advanced weapons, while others suggest it was a secret base for conducting experiments related to paranormal and supernatural phenomena. The most compelling theory about Glocke's purpose is that it was a prototype for an advanced anti-gravity device, possibly using some form of energy not yet understood by modern science. It is believed that the device was capable of generating a powerful electromagnetic field that could bend light and gravity, allowing it to hover or even travel through time. Some accounts describe the device emitting a strange, high-pitched sound while in operation, hence the name Die Glocke, or the bell. Or several reports from former Nazi officers, including those who worked on other secret projects during the war, suggest that the device was moved in the final months of the war as the Allies advanced into Germany. According to these accounts, Kammler ordered the destruction of the bell before it could fall into the hands of the advancing Soviet or American forces. There are conflicting reports about whether the device was successfully destroyed or whether it was relocated to another facility in Eastern Europe, possibly hidden in a remote location in Poland or even in Antarctica. Yet the most chilling theory surrounding Die Glocke is its potential for altering the very nature of time and space. Some believe that the device was an attempt to manipulate time itself, opening rifts in space-time that could have far-reaching consequences. These theories often overlap with the concept of time travel, suggesting that the bell may have been a prototype for a larger, more advanced time machine, one that could have allowed its operators to travel through history or even alter the events of the past. But if the bell was a time machine, or even a device capable of bending gravity and warping space, what happened to it after the war? Some believe that Die Glocke was hidden by Nazi officials in an effort to prevent its technology from falling into the hands of the Allies. Others argue that the device's secrets were either lost or destroyed during the chaos of the war's final days. Still, a small group of researchers insists that the bell's technology did not vanish, but was instead recovered by either the Soviet Union or the United States, both of which were known to have been highly interested in the German military technology after the war. The lack of concrete evidence leaves the mystery of Die Glocke unresolved. No physical remnants of the bell have ever been discovered, and no official documentation exists to confirm its existence. What we are left with is a series of fragmented accounts, speculations, and theories, each one adding a layer of intrigue to an already complex and disturbing mystery. Could Die Glocke have been a failed experiment, the product of a desperate regime seeking to win at any cost? Or was it something more, a breakthrough technology that remains hidden, its power and potential yet to be fully understood? As we ponder the strange and chilling mystery of Die Glocke, one question looms larger than any other. What happened to the bell? Was it destroyed, as some claim, or is it still out there waiting to be discovered? And if it does exist, what secrets does it hold? Secrets that could change everything we know about time, gravity, and the very nature of the universe itself. The mystery of Die Glocke continues to haunt us, a puzzle with no answers and a legacy that may never be fully uncovered. Until then, we are left to wonder, is the truth about the bell still hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to be revealed? Or will it remain forever shrouded in the shadows of history, a relic of a dark and forgotten past? As we journey through the most disturbing and enigmatic locations on Earth, we now come to one of the most secretive and high-stakes sites in the world, Pine Gap, a remote military base situated in the heart of Australia's vast desert landscape. The very name Pine Gap is synonymous with secrecy, intelligence gathering, and shadowy operations. Located just outside the town of Alice Springs in the Northern Territory, this unassuming patch of land has played a pivotal role in global surveillance and military strategy for decades, yet remains a place cloaked in mystery. To the casual observer, Pine Gap may appear as nothing more than a patch of arid earth surrounded by desert scrub. The base is hidden deep within the harsh, sun-scorched terrain, a far cry from the bustling cities and populated regions of Australia. From the outside, there are few indications of the high-tech operations taking place beneath the surface. But as we move deeper into its story, it becomes clear that Pine Gap is no ordinary military installation. It is, in fact, one of the most important intelligence hubs on the planet, a key component in a vast network of surveillance operations that stretches across the globe. Pine Gap was originally established in the 1960s as part of a joint agreement between the United States and Australia. Its official purpose was to act as a satellite tracking station, helping to monitor communications, weather data, and military activity in the Pacific region. Over the years, however, Pine Gap's role has expanded dramatically. Today, it is widely believed to be a crucial part of the global surveillance network, with its capabilities extending far beyond the realms of conventional communication monitoring. The base is reportedly involved in intelligence collection, military satellite tracking, and even espionage. But despite its enormous significance, the details of what goes on behind the locked gates of Pine Gap are largely unknown to the public, and the facility's existence is shrouded in layers of secrecy. The most striking feature of Pine Gap is its network of massive dome-shaped radomes, large white structures that can be seen from miles around. These domes, which house powerful radar and satellite equipment, serve as the base's eyes and ears, constantly scanning the skies for signals and transmissions. Beneath the surface, Pine Gap is believed to contain a sprawling complex of underground bunkers, command centers, and storage facilities. The site is heavily guarded, with strict security measures in place to prevent unauthorized access. There are no photographs of the interior, and the Australian government has consistently refused to comment on the base's operations. What makes Pine Gap particularly unsettling is not just its technological prowess, but the speculation that surrounds its true purpose. While the official narrative presents Pine Gap as a satellite tracking station, there are whispers of much more. Whispers of a secret facility that serves as a hub for covert military operations, international espionage, and even extraterrestrial research. For years, rumors have circulated about Pine Gap's involvement in extraterrestrial activity. Some conspiracy theorists claim that the base is a site where government agencies collaborate with extraterrestrial entities, exchanging technology and knowledge. These claims, of course, have never been substantiated, but the idea that Pine Gap could be involved in something far beyond human understanding is a tantalizing possibility that continues to capture the imagination of those who follow such mysteries. One of the most enduring theories surrounding Pine Gap is its supposed role in a global surveillance program known as Echelon. This secretive operation is believed to be a system for intercepting and analyzing global communications, be it phone calls, emails, or satellite transmissions. Pine Gap is said to be one of the key stations in the Echelon network, which is believed to be run by the United States and its allies, including Australia. The base's strategic location in the southern hemisphere allows it to monitor communications from around the world, especially in the Pacific region, Asia, and even parts of the Middle East. If true, Pine Gap would be at the very center of one of the largest and most powerful surveillance programs ever conceived, an operation that operates outside of public oversight and far from the prying eyes of democratic institutions. But even beyond its suspected role in Echelon, Pine Gap's reputation has been further colored by reports of mysterious activities that take place on the base. Over the years, there have been numerous accounts of strange lights in the sky around the base, and some locals claim to have witnessed unexplainable aircraft, either hovering silently in the night or moving at incredible speeds. There are also reports of unusual electromagnetic interference in the surrounding area, with some residents claiming that their electronic devices malfunction in the vicinity of the base. These anomalies have led to speculation that Pine Gap is not merely a communications hub, but rather a site where advanced technology, possibly even involving extraterrestrial intelligence, is being tested and researched. Some of the most bizarre claims regarding Pine Gap involve the idea that the base is involved in a form of mind control or psychological manipulation. These theories suggest that the facility is equipped with advanced technologies that can influence human behavior, possibly through the use of electromagnetic fields or other forms of brainwave manipulation. While there is no concrete evidence to support these claims, they add another layer of intrigue to an already mysterious site. Is it possible that Pine Gap is involved in research that goes far beyond traditional surveillance, delving into areas of psychological warfare, mind control, or even altering human perception? Perhaps one of the most compelling aspects of Pine Gap's mystery is its continued secrecy. Despite the base's significant role in global intelligence and military operations, very little is known about the inner workings of the site. There are no official tours, no public statements from the Australian or American governments, and no transparency regarding its activities. This lack of information only adds to the air of suspicion and intrigue that surrounds the base. What is being hidden within those dome-shaped structures? What classified operations are taking place beneath the surface? And why has Pine Gap remained so secret for so many years? Another unsettling aspect of Pine Gap's mystery is its potential connection to the broader network of covert military and intelligence facilities scattered around the world. Pine Gap is not an isolated case. There are other secret military sites that operate in similar secrecy, with few details ever emerging into the public domain. It is possible that Pine Gap is just one part of a much larger web of global surveillance operations, many of which are run by powerful governments and military organizations that answer to no one but themselves. These hidden installations are thought to be involved in everything from global espionage to tracking military movements, to researching advanced technology that is far beyond anything the public is aware of. As we consider the enigma of Pine Gap, we are left with more questions than answers. What is the true scope of the operations taking place at this remote outpost? Is it truly just a satellite tracking station, as the official story suggests? Or is Pine Gap a hub for more covert and controversial activities, from global surveillance to secret weapons testing to even interactions with extraterrestrial intelligence? The mystery of Pine Gap is far from solved, and until more information comes to light, it remains one of the most disturbing and closely guarded secrets in the world. And so the question remains, what does Pine Gap really hold within its walls? What dark secrets and unspoken truths are concealed within the dusty plains of Australia, waiting to be uncovered or hidden forever? Until the veil of secrecy is lifted, Pine Gap will continue to loom as an enigmatic and unsettling symbol of the unknown. As we leave behind the shadowy operations at Pine Gap, we now turn our focus to another site shrouded in secrecy and steeped in mystery, Bohemian Grove. Nestled in the towering redwood forests of California, this secluded and private retreat is home to one of the most influential and enigmatic gatherings of the global elite. To the uninitiated, Bohemian Grove might seem like a picturesque escape, a tranquil woodland sanctuary. But for those who have glimpsed its hidden world, it represents something far more complex and, at times, unsettling. Bohemian Grove is located in Monte Rio, along the Russian River in Sonoma County, California. The grove spans over 2,700 acres of dense forest, and its location is so remote that it is nearly invisible from the surrounding areas. Tall trees, ancient redwoods, and thick foliage obscure the entrance, creating an air of isolation that only adds to its mystique. The area is private, protected by extensive security measures, and the only people allowed to enter are members of the exclusive Bohemian Club and their guests. These guests are some of the most powerful figures in the world: politicians, business magnates, military leaders, and influential members of the media. The Bohemian Club itself was founded in 1872 in San Francisco, originally as a gathering place for artists, writers, and journalists. But over the years, its membership list has evolved to include men of significant power and wealth. Today, the Bohemian Grove serves as the location for the club's most secretive event, the annual summer encampment, which draws the elite from across the globe. The gatherings at the Grove have long been the subject of intrigue and speculation, with reports of strange rituals, secretive ceremonies, and powerful individuals engaging in what some describe as bizarre or occult practices. The most famous of these ceremonies is the Cremation of Care ritual, a highly secretive and deeply symbolic event held at the Grove each year. During the ceremony, members gather around a massive stone owl, which stands over 40 feet tall, and perform an elaborate ritual in which they symbolically cremate their cares and worries. The owl itself is said to be a representation of the ancient deity of wisdom, Minerva, though its connection to the ritual remains murky. The ceremony is conducted in the dead of night, with participants dressed in flowing robes and chanting as the effigy of care is burned before them. The imagery of the ceremony, along with the participation of some of the world's most influential individuals, has sparked a variety of theories, with some speculating that it is a form of ritualistic initiation or a powerful rite of passage. But what truly occurs behind the gates of Bohemian Grove during these gatherings? The cremation of care is only the tip of the iceberg. According to some reports, the members of the Bohemian Club engage in a variety of activities that range from the politically mundane to the profoundly mysterious. Some former members have described the gatherings as an opportunity for the world's most powerful men to share their deepest secrets and strike backroom deals away from the scrutiny of the media and the public eye. But others suggest that there is something far more unsettling at play. In the 1980s, journalist Alex Sprintzen attempted to infiltrate the Grove and reported strange occurrences, including bizarre theatrical performances and private meetings between influential leaders. His work added fuel to the fire of speculation about the Grove's true purpose. Some critics argue that the events at Bohemian Grove are nothing more than the trivial indulgences of the rich and powerful, grandiose rituals meant to entertain and unify the elite, providing a space for them to discuss their shared interests and global ambitions. But others have suggested that the true nature of the Grove's activities runs much deeper, exploring the possibility that these rituals serve as a form of secret power dynamics, a hidden network where the fates of nations are decided in the dark corners of the forest. The eerie symbolism of the ceremonies is not lost on those who delve into occult traditions and ancient rituals. Some speculate that the cremation of care is more than just an elaborate performance, but a deeper symbolic ritual of power and control. The burning of care is often interpreted as a purging of moral and ethical responsibility, a moment when members cast aside any guilt or reservations in favor of pursuing their personal or political desires without restriction. This could provide a clue as to the underlying purpose of the Bohemian Grove's gatherings: the creation of a space in which the world's most influential men are given the freedom to act without consequence. Then there are the claims of occult practices. Some have suggested that the rituals performed at Bohemian Grove are part of an ancient tradition of mysticism and secret knowledge. The imagery of the owl, the elaborate ceremonies, and the veiled secrecy all evoke themes of ancient cults, esoteric wisdom, and dark magic. The owl, in particular, has been associated with a variety of mysterious and occult traditions. In many cultures, the owl is seen as a symbol of wisdom, but also as a harbinger of death or transformation. Could the Bohemian Grove's rituals, with their focus on the owl, be an attempt to tap into a deep and primal power, one that reaches back through time to ancient rituals of initiation and secrecy? Beyond these speculative theories, there are more grounded concerns about the true nature of the relationships fostered within the Grove's confines. Bohemian Grove is often described as a networking event for the elite, a place where the world's most powerful figures can forge alliances, strike business deals, and plan geopolitical strategies away from the prying eyes of the public. The secrecy of the gathering, combined with the vast power and influence of its members, has led some to wonder, could this be the true center of global power? Are the events that unfold here, far from the reach of democracy and transparency, actually shaping the future of the world? Another curious aspect of Bohemian Grove is the level of protection it receives. The property is heavily guarded, with high-tech security systems in place and strict control over who is allowed entry. Cameras, fences, and even private security personnel make it nearly impossible for outsiders to witness the ceremonies or the meetings that take place within. The secrecy surrounding the grove is so intense that even members are reportedly required to sign non-disclosure agreements, ensuring that what happens within the grove remains confidential. As we reflect on the mysteries of Bohemian Grove, one question rises above the others. What is it that the world's most powerful people seek in the isolation of these ancient redwoods? Is it truly a space for innocent indulgence and relaxation, as some claim? Or is there something far more profound and hidden taking place, something that involves power, influence, and possibly even the occult? The mystery of Bohemian Grove continues to linger in the shadows, a place where the world's elite can retreat to carry out their secretive business, surrounded by ancient trees and guarded by a veil of secrecy. And so, the question remains, what is Bohemian Grove really? A simple retreat for the powerful, or a place where the fate of nations and the future of the world are quietly decided, far from the eyes of the public? Until the veil of secrecy is lifted, it will remain one of the most enduring and unsettling mysteries of our time. As we transition from the secrecy of Bohemian Grove to another realm of hidden knowledge and unimaginable influence, we turn our attention to one of the most mysterious and revered locations in the world, the Vatican's secret archives. Located within the heart of Vatican City, a mere stone's throw from St. Peter's Basilica, this institution holds centuries of secrets, the vast majority of which remain concealed from the public eye. The archives themselves are not just a repository of documents, they are a reflection of the power, history, and mysticism that has shaped the course of human civilization, and their contents may hold the key to understanding some of the world's most profound mysteries. The Vatican's secret archives, as they are known today, stretch across several miles of shelving and storage space, some of which is hidden behind the ancient walls of the Vatican. Officially, they are called the Archivum Secretum Apostolicum Vaticanum, and while the name may evoke images of hidden treasure or forbidden knowledge, the reality is even more elusive. These archives are a meticulously organized collection of documents, many of which are hundreds of years old, offering a unique glimpse into the history of the Catholic Church, its leadership, and its influence over global affairs. The archives contain over 85 kilometers of shelving, filled with documents ranging from papal correspondence to private letters, official records, and manuscripts from some of the most influential figures in history. Among these records are accounts of some of the most significant events in human history, treaties, decrees, and political maneuvers that shaped the fates of nations and peoples. There are records from the Crusades, from the Inquisition, and from the early days of Christianity, each document serving as a puzzle piece in the grand tapestry of religious and geopolitical power. But despite the extraordinary wealth of information contained within the archives, access to these documents is heavily restricted, and many of the most sensitive records are not available for public review. The Vatican has long guarded the secret archives with an iron grip. For centuries, the archives were closed to all but the most trusted scholars, and even then, the documents were only accessible under strict supervision. While the Vatican has made efforts to grant limited access to researchers in recent decades, the archives remain largely off-limits to outsiders. The secrecy surrounding the archives has led to a great deal of speculation about what might be hidden within their walls. What documents, treaties, or writings might be so sensitive that they require such extensive protection? What truths have been kept hidden from the public for so long? One of the most intriguing aspects of the Vatican secret archives is their connection to the mysteries of religious history and the early years of Christianity. It is said that within the archives, there are documents that could shed light on the true origins of the Christian faith. Some claim that these records contain long-lost texts, gospels, or writings that could challenge the orthodox understanding of Christianity. There have been rumors that hidden within the archives are documents that could reveal secrets about the life of Jesus Christ, his teachings, and his relationship with the early Christian community. Could there be a gospel, perhaps one that has been suppressed or lost to history, that offers an alternative account of the events of the New Testament? Such speculations are not new. Over the years, many researchers and scholars have tried to gain access to the Vatican secret archives, seeking to uncover documents that might reveal hidden truths about the history of the Church and its relationship with the wider world. Some have argued that the Vatican's secrecy is driven by a desire to protect its power and influence, keeping certain information buried in order to maintain the status quo. Others believe that the archives may contain evidence of conspiracy, manipulation, or the concealment of inconvenient truths. Perhaps the most famous of these theories is the idea that the Vatican holds the key to the lost knowledge of ancient civilizations. Some have suggested that the archives contain documents related to the mystical traditions of the ancient world, including secret knowledge passed down from the Egyptians, the Greeks, or even earlier civilizations. Could there be a hidden connection between the Vatican and the esoteric knowledge that shaped the development of Western thought? Are there records that trace the influence of ancient occult practices on the Church's formation and its policies? Beyond the religious and historical significance, the Vatican's secret archives are also thought to contain important political documents, many of which relate to the Church's involvement in global affairs throughout history. The Vatican, as both a religious and political entity, has played a key role in the politics of Europe and beyond, influencing the fate of nations and the direction of world events. It is believed that the archives contain a wealth of material relating to the Church's involvement in key historical moments, such as the signing of treaties, the diplomatic negotiations between monarchs, and the behind-the-scenes dealings with powerful political figures. For example, some speculate that the archives might hold documents relating to the Church's stance on the rise of communism, its involvement in World War II, or its relationship with dictatorships and oppressive regimes throughout history. Another area of speculation centers on the Vatican's role in shaping the modern world. With its vast network of influence and its historic ties to international organizations, the Vatican is often seen as a quiet but potent player on the world stage. Many believe that the archives contain documents that could reveal the Vatican's secret dealings with governments and power structures across the globe, perhaps even evidence of covert operations or political manipulation. Could the Vatican have influenced the outcome of major historical events, such as the Cold War or the creation of the European Union, through secret channels and undisclosed agreements? There are even more fringe theories about the Vatican's secret archives, ones that venture into the realm of the supernatural and the paranormal. Some have speculated that within the archives there might be evidence of the Church's interactions with extraterrestrial beings, or even the possession of ancient artifacts with otherworldly properties. Others have proposed that the Vatican may be safeguarding knowledge of ancient technologies, knowledge that could fundamentally alter our understanding of science and the universe. These ideas remain purely speculative, but they continue to fuel the intrigue and curiosity surrounding the archives. Despite the mystery, there is one thing that remains certain. The Vatican's secret archives are a place of immense historical importance. They are a treasure trove of information, containing records that span centuries of religious, political, and cultural history. Yet, they remain largely closed to the public, guarded by an institution that has maintained its power and secrecy for over 2,000 years. The mysteries they hold are not easily unlocked, and perhaps some of them never will be. As we reflect on the secrets of the Vatican's secret archives, we are left with more questions than answers. What documents are hidden within their walls? What truths, if any, have been suppressed or obscured by centuries of secrecy? Could the archives hold the answers to some of the most profound questions about the origins of Christianity, the fate of ancient civilizations, or the hidden forces that have shaped human history? Until more is revealed, the Vatican's secret archives will continue to loom as one of the most captivating and disturbing mysteries of our time. After delving into the secretive history of the Vatican's hidden archives, we now turn our attention to another place equally synonymous with mystery and government secrecy, a location that continues to spark the imagination of both conspiracy theorists and skeptics alike: Groom Lake. Known to the world by its more infamous name, Area 51, this remote stretch of desert in Nevada has long been a focal point for stories of UFOs, extraterrestrial encounters, and secret military experiments. Groom Lake itself is a dry salt flat, a barren landscape surrounded by vast stretches of uninhabited desert, about 83 miles north of Las Vegas. From above, it might appear as little more than a speck of land, almost indistinguishable from the rest of the arid Nevada wilderness. But this seemingly insignificant patch of Earth has become the epicenter of some of the most enduring mysteries in modern history. Its very existence is shrouded in secrecy, with the U.S. government maintaining a strict policy of denial and silence regarding anything related to the site. Area 51's official purpose has never been fully disclosed, and perhaps that is what fuels the fire of curiosity. The U.S. government first acknowledged the base's existence in 2013, following decades of speculation. What we do know is that it was established in the 1950s as a testing and development site for military aircraft and experimental technology, particularly for the U-2 and SR-71 Blackbird spy planes. The remote location was chosen for its isolation, far from prying eyes, and the lack of civilian population allowed for unmonitored testing. But while its role in the development of advanced military technology is widely accepted, what remains unknown is whether it has been involved in more speculative and bizarre activities. For decades, Groom Lake has been at the heart of countless UFO sightings, abduction stories, and government cover-up allegations. Theories range from the plausible to the extraordinary. Some believe that the U.S. government has been studying and reverse engineering alien technology at the base, while others suggest that the location may serve as a hub for extraterrestrial communication or even collaboration with otherworldly beings. It is not just the isolated location of Area 51 that raises suspicions, it is the very nature of the rumors surrounding it. In a place where secrecy reigns supreme, is it possible that the truth has been hidden from the public for decades? One of the most famous events tied to Groom Lake is the alleged Roswell incident in 1947, which remains one of the most widely discussed UFO sightings in modern history. According to witnesses, a mysterious flying object crashed in the New Mexico desert, leading to widespread rumors of a government cover-up. While the U.S. military initially claimed it had recovered a flying disc, the official narrative quickly shifted, stating that the object was merely a weather balloon. But for many, the story doesn't end there. Over the years, numerous individuals have claimed that the wreckage from the crash, along with alien bodies, were secretly transported to Area 51 for examination. These claims, though unverified, have become ingrained in popular culture, further cementing the association between Groom Lake and extraterrestrial research. The secrecy surrounding Area 51 only deepens the mystery. Despite the growing public interest in the site, the U.S. government has consistently refused to release detailed information about the base's operations. The perimeter around Groom Lake is heavily guarded, with armed security forces patrolling the area, and the airspace above the site is restricted to civilian aircraft. To further deter curiosity, numerous warnings are posted around the perimeter of the base, including the infamous signs that declare use of deadly force is authorized. These measures serve as a stark reminder that Groom Lake is a place where secrets are fiercely protected, and potentially deadly consequences await anyone who dares to uncover them. In addition to the conspiracy theories surrounding alien technology, there are those who believe that Groom Lake is a site for more conventional, though still highly classified, government experiments. The base has been linked to the development of some of the most advanced military aircraft in history, and some speculate that it continues to serve as a testing ground for cutting-edge technology. Could Groom Lake be the birthplace of future aircraft, drones, or weapon systems that are so advanced that they remain years or even decades ahead of what the public is aware of? The U.S. government's refusal to confirm or deny such claims only fuels the fire of speculation. One particularly intriguing aspect of Groom Lake's mystery is its connection to the so-called black projects of the U.S. military. These projects, often referred to as black ops, involve highly classified operations that are funded and conducted outside the oversight of Congress and the public. In many cases, these projects are so secret that their very existence is not acknowledged, even to those working within the government. If Groom Lake is indeed a site for black projects, it stands to reason that the nature of the experiments and technologies being tested there could be far beyond the conventional military technology we are familiar with. Perhaps the most curious element of the Groom Lake story is the lack of any verifiable, concrete evidence to support or debunk the wild claims that surround the site. While there have been numerous photographs taken from a distance, often by tourists or hikers who venture near the base's perimeter, there has never been an official public release of information confirming what actually takes place at Area 51. It is a place where facts blur with fiction, where rumor intertwines with reality, and where the truth remains elusive. In recent years, the public's fascination with Groom Lake has only intensified. In 2019, a viral event called Storm Area 51 encouraged thousands of people to gather in an attempt to breach the base's perimeter. Although the event itself was more of a social media stunt than a serious threat, it sparked renewed interest in the mysteries of the base and the enigmatic activities that may or may not occur there. Could the rise of social media and the increasing willingness to challenge government secrecy be a turning point in the search for answers about Groom Lake? Or will it remain a place where the unknown is carefully guarded by the most powerful institutions in the world? As we reflect on the mysteries of Groom Lake, we are left with many questions, but few answers. Is the base truly a secret military testing site, as the government claims? Or does it serve as the nexus of something far more extraordinary, something involving extraterrestrial technology, unexplained phenomena, or even interplanetary communication? What is the true purpose of the mysterious aircraft seen flying above the base? And what, if anything, has been hidden away within the confines of Groom Lake for all these years? Until the veil of secrecy is lifted, we can only speculate about what lies hidden at Groom Lake. The mystery of Area 51 continues to captivate us, challenging our understanding of the world and pushing the boundaries of what we believe to be possible. The question remains, what does Groom Lake truly hold? And why is it that the world's most powerful government has gone to such lengths to keep its secrets buried in the desert sands? Only time, and perhaps a few daring individuals, will reveal the truth. As we leave behind the secrets buried in the Nevada desert and venture further into the ancient corridors of human history, we find ourselves drawn to another enigma, one that blends the mystical with the historical and the ancient with the speculative. The Benben stone chamber, tucked within the heart of Egypt's rich spiritual landscape, remains one of the most fascinating, yet elusive places tied to the origins of civilization. This is no ordinary stone or chamber. It is a symbol of creation itself, and its mystery has endured for millennia. The Benben stone is often described as a small pyramid-shaped object, revered as a sacred relic in ancient Egyptian cosmology. Its true origins, however, remain shrouded in uncertainty. While there are several accounts, most point to its connection with the creation myth of the ancient Egyptians. The stone is said to have been placed in the most sacred space of the Temple of the Sun in Heliopolis, the ancient religious capital of Egypt. The symbolism of the Benben stone is tied to the Egyptian concept of Benbenet, a primordial mound that emerged from the chaotic waters of the Nile at the beginning of time, marking the moment when creation itself began. The stone, in essence, was a representation of this mythical mound, standing as a focal point for the divine energies of creation. The Benben stone itself, however, is far more than just a symbolic object. It is said that the stone served as the focal point for the worship of the sun god, Ra, and was believed to hold immense spiritual power. As the Egyptians believed that Ra's power radiated from the stone, it was considered an object that could connect the mortal world to the divine, a channel between humanity and the gods. The stone's role in religious rituals is hard to overstate, for it represented both the beginning of creation and the cyclical power of the sun. But it is not the stone itself that holds the most mystery. It is what it may have represented, or perhaps what it may have contained. The exact location of the Benben stone has long been lost to history. The Temple of the Sun at Heliopolis no longer exists in its original form, and with it, the stone itself vanished from public view. Theories abound as to what became of it. Was it lost in the shifting sands of time, its power buried under centuries of rubble and neglect? Did it find its way into a hidden chamber, where it remains sealed to this day? Or is it possible that the Benben stone was never a literal object at all, but instead a symbol, an idea passed down through generations, its true form lost to the veils of myth and legend? Some scholars suggest that the Benben stone could have been the origin of the pyramidal shape that became synonymous with ancient Egyptian architecture. The Great Pyramid of Giza, with its sharp angles and towering presence, may have been an attempt to replicate the divine shape of the Benben stone itself, an architectural manifestation of the sacred mound from which the world was created. The ancient Egyptians, after all, had an intimate understanding of geometry, astronomy, and sacred symbolism. It is entirely possible that the pyramids, which stand as both tombs and symbols of divine power, were designed to channel the same energies that the Benben stone was believed to harness. The connection between the Benben stone and the pyramids leads us to a particularly intriguing theory, that the stone could be linked to the mysterious, often debated concept of energy points or ley lines. These are areas around the world where it is believed that the Earth's magnetic field is particularly concentrated, or where an invisible force connects certain locations. Could the Benben stone have been placed at such a site in ancient Egypt, its position chosen for its alignment with cosmic forces? If so, could the pyramids, constructed as replicas of the sacred stone, have been designed to harness these same energies, amplifying their power for religious rituals or even for the rulers of ancient Egypt? Yet, there is still a greater question to consider, one that extends beyond the stone itself and into the spiritual and mystical realm. Many modern theorists and esoteric scholars suggest that the Benben stone could have held a far more profound significance than we can comprehend with our current understanding of history. Some posit that it was a repository of lost knowledge, an object that contained the secrets of the ancients, possibly even wisdom that has been deliberately hidden or lost over time. What if the Benben stone was not merely a symbol of the sun's power, but a key to understanding a hidden chapter of human history? Could it have contained lost teachings or scientific knowledge that has since been erased from our collective memory? One of the more compelling fringe theories involves the idea that the Benben stone was, in fact, a form of ancient technology. While the Egyptians are famous for their architectural and engineering feats, there are those who suggest that their mastery extended to a more advanced form of science, possibly involving energy, sound, or vibration. Could the Benben stone have been a device that was used to focus or amplify energy in a way that allowed the ancient Egyptians to perform feats that seem beyond their time? Some even suggest that it could have been a form of a power stone, similar to the concept of crystals used in modern metaphysical practices, believed to channel unseen forces or energies. Another theory speculates that the Benben stone might have been a key to understanding the geometry of the universe itself, its shape holding significance in unlocking the mysteries of sacred geometry. The pyramidal form, which represents the tip of the cosmic tree or axis, may hold hidden clues to the way the ancient Egyptians viewed the relationship between the earth, the heavens, and the divine. If the stone were a symbol of such cosmic order, could it also hold the key to understanding the forces that govern life, death, and rebirth? Despite the various theories, we are left with little more than fragments of evidence and a trail of tantalizing possibilities. What did the Benben stone truly represent? Was it a sacred relic, a piece of lost technology, or simply a powerful symbol of ancient beliefs? We may never know for sure. But as with many great mysteries of the ancient world, the lack of concrete evidence only fuels the imagination, and the mystery of the Benben stone remains as compelling as ever. The stone, lost to time, continues to echo through the ages, a reminder of the depths of ancient knowledge and the vastness of the mysteries that remain hidden beneath the surface of history. Could the answers to these questions still lie buried, waiting to be uncovered? Or are we left to ponder, forever, the secrets that the ancient Egyptians chose to leave behind in the sands of time? The mystery of the Benben stone chamber endures, inviting us to question what is truly known and what remains hidden, waiting to be rediscovered. As we leave the ancient stones of Egypt behind, we now turn to a chilling, unexplained event from the frozen wilds of the Ural Mountains. A place where nature's harshness and an unsettling mystery converge. Dyatlov Pass. Situated in the northern part of Russia, this remote location is far from the bustling cities of civilization. A desolate expanse of snow-covered wilderness, the area is hauntingly beautiful. But it has become synonymous with one of the most perplexing and disturbing tragedies in modern history. On the night of February 2, 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, set up camp in the pass during an expedition through the mountains. They were young students and graduates of the Ural Polytechnic Institute, adventurous and well prepared for the treacherous conditions. The group had ventured into the harsh terrain to reach the summit of Otorten, a peak that would later become forever tied to their names. But they never made it. When they failed to return on schedule, a search party was sent out. What they found at the scene of the hikers' final camp would defy explanation and haunt investigators for decades. The tent was discovered abandoned and in a state of disarray, cut open from the inside. This was no ordinary camping accident. The hikers' belongings were left behind, including their shoes, food, and equipment, as if they had fled in a panic. What could have caused such a desperate, unexplained escape into the freezing cold, with temperatures dropping to as low as -30 degrees Celsius, -22 degrees Fahrenheit? The hikers' bodies were discovered scattered across the area, some of them found in positions that suggested they were trying to escape something, while others appeared to have made it some distance from the camp before succumbing to the elements. What was even more disturbing was the condition of their remains. Some were found without their eyes, others without their tongues, and still others had their skulls or ribs fractured, injuries so severe they were comparable to those caused by a car crash. Yet, remarkably, there were no external wounds, no signs of violent confrontation. It was as if the hikers had been subjected to a force they could not comprehend, one that left them physically shattered but not visibly harmed. One body was discovered with traces of radiation on its clothing, adding yet another layer of intrigue to the already bizarre circumstances. Why would a group of hikers in such a remote location have exposure to radioactive materials? Theories began to emerge, ranging from the more conventional to the wildly speculative. Could this have been the result of a simple avalanche, or something far darker, more mysterious and inexplicable? The most common explanation is that an avalanche struck the group's tent, forcing them to flee in a panic, but many aspects of the case simply do not fit with this theory. First, the injuries sustained by the hikers seemed too severe to have been caused by a snow collapse, and the absence of signs of trauma from the fall was puzzling. Moreover, some of the hikers had made it a considerable distance from the camp, which would seem unlikely if they were running for their lives. If they were fleeing from an avalanche, how could they have run so far and yet left no tracks in the snow? Adding to the intrigue, there are accounts of strange lights seen in the sky around the time of the incident, unexplained phenomena that were reported by other people in the area. Could these lights have been connected to the hikers' deaths? Some suggest they were military tests, perhaps involving secret aircraft or weapons. Others have speculated that they might have been connected to UFO activity. Was there something in the sky, something unseen, that caused the hikers to flee into the night? As if the bizarre circumstances weren't enough, other, more unsettling details began to surface as investigators delved deeper. Several of the hikers, before their deaths, had been severely injured, but it was as though they hadn't made a sound. There were no signs of a struggle, and no one in the group had tried to call for help, even though they had broken out of the tent in the middle of the night. What could have rendered them so paralyzed with fear that they did not cry out, even when faced with death? Some suggest the possibility of a military cover-up, pointing to the fact that the area around Dyatlov Pass had been used for testing by the Soviet military. Was the group unknowingly exposed to secret weapons tests or a highly classified military experiment that went horribly wrong? Given the Cold War context and the tense political climate of the time, the idea that the Soviet government might have wanted to cover up the real cause of the hikers' deaths is not entirely outside the realm of possibility. Others have entertained more extraordinary explanations. Some have suggested that the hikers' deaths were the result of paranormal phenomena, perhaps an ancient curse or the wrath of unknown entities inhabiting the mountain. These theories invoke the terrifying idea of forces beyond human comprehension, something primal and deadly, waiting to strike when least expected. Could the hikers have unwittingly triggered something, an ancient presence, that led to their deaths? Another theory points to the presence of katabatic winds, a violent and sudden wind phenomenon known to occur in mountainous regions. These winds can reach speeds of over 100 miles per hour, and while they usually do not cause physical injuries, their extreme intensity could have driven the hikers to madness or panic, causing them to run out into the freezing cold without proper clothing. But this, too, does not fully explain the bizarre injuries they sustained or the complete lack of evidence of such winds in the area at the time. As time passed and more research was conducted, a report from the Russian government in 2020 suggested that the hikers' deaths were most likely caused by an avalanche. This explanation, however, still fails to answer many lingering questions. Why would an avalanche leave no trace of its passage? Why would the hikers, who were experienced mountaineers, cut open their tent and flee into the night without shoes or adequate clothing? Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the Dyatlov Pass incident is that, after all these years, the mystery remains unsolved. Despite a number of theories, some plausible, others deeply speculative, the true cause of the hikers' deaths has never been conclusively determined. The strange, inexplicable nature of the case leaves more questions than answers. Was the tragedy the result of a natural disaster, a government cover-up, or something far stranger, a force beyond human understanding? As we reflect on the chilling events at Dyatlov Pass, one thing remains clear. The answers may be buried beneath the snow, but the mystery will continue to linger in the minds of those who dare to ask. What truly happened to those 9 young hikers? What were they fleeing from in the dead of night? And what, if anything, is still hidden in the frozen wilderness of the Ural Mountains, waiting to be discovered? As we step away from the mysteries of the mountains and the inexplicable deaths at Dyatlov Pass, we now find ourselves drawn into a modern enigma, one that exists not in the wilderness or ancient ruins, but in the very heart of scientific progress. This is CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, home to the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator. It is a place where the boundaries of human understanding are constantly pushed, and where the very fabric of the universe is studied in the pursuit of knowledge. Located in the serene countryside on the border between Switzerland and France, CERN's facilities sprawl across a vast landscape, a complex of laboratories and tunnels that delve deep into the earth. But what lies beneath this seemingly ordinary research institute is far from typical. The centerpiece of CERN's operations is the Large Hadron Collider, LHC, a circular accelerator more than 17 miles long, buried underground, and capable of generating conditions similar to those that existed just moments after the Big Bang. It is here, in the depths of this subterranean world, that scientists collide particles at nearly the speed of light, studying the fundamental building blocks of matter in a quest to answer questions about the origins of the universe itself. The collider's purpose is grounded in the pursuit of understanding the most basic forces of nature, the ones that govern everything from the movement of galaxies to the behavior of subatomic particles. In 2012, CERN made history by confirming the existence of the Higgs boson, a particle long theorized but never before observed. The discovery of the Higgs, often referred to as the God particle, was celebrated as a monumental achievement in physics, one that could potentially unlock the deepest secrets of the universe. Yet, for all of its scientific triumphs, CERN is also a place shrouded in mystery and speculation. Beneath the surface of its groundbreaking discoveries lies a darker, more unsettling question. What else could be hidden here? The first thing that strikes any visitor to CERN is the sheer scale of its operations. The LHC itself is an engineering marvel, a vast underground ring of superconducting magnets and accelerating structures, all designed to propel particles at near-light speeds and force them to collide. But even as the world celebrates the LHC's achievements in unlocking the fundamental laws of nature, there are those who wonder whether this powerful machine could be doing more than simply conducting particle physics experiments. The LHC is so powerful that some have speculated it might be capable of creating black holes or even opening portals to alternate dimensions. Is this really the goal of CERN, to probe the very fabric of the universe? Or is there something far more dangerous at play? The most widely discussed theory surrounding CERN and the LHC involves the creation of miniature black holes. While mainstream scientists dismiss these fears, arguing that any black holes produced by the collider would be infinitesimally small and harmless, the possibility still looms in the public imagination. What if these micro-black holes, formed during particle collisions, could grow, destabilize, and ultimately spiral out of control? Could they threaten the very fabric of space-time itself? These questions remain largely speculative, but they have captured the imagination of the public. Some even fear that the LHC could be a ticking time bomb, a machine capable of unleashing forces beyond our control. Beyond the scientific uncertainties, there are also darker, more fringe theories that tie CERN to a vast array of otherworldly possibilities. One of the most persistent of these theories is the suggestion that CERN is somehow connected to extra-dimensional portals, gates, if you will, that could open windows into parallel worlds or even bring entities from other realms into our own. Could the LHC, in its search for the deepest secrets of the universe, accidentally breach the boundaries between dimensions? Some conspiracy theorists believe that CERN's experiments could be inadvertently opening portals to other realities, where unknown beings or forces might slip through. The idea of otherworldly visitors entering our universe through CERN is a tantalizing but terrifying possibility. Adding to the mystery is the symbolism associated with CERN. The organization itself has long been the subject of scrutiny due to its use of arcane and esoteric symbols in its logo and promotional materials. In particular, CERN's logo, which prominently features the image of a particle collider, has been linked to the concept of the Wheel of Time or the Wheel of Creation, and some have drawn comparisons to ancient symbols associated with the mystical or occult. Could there be more to CERN's research than meets the eye, a hidden agenda tied to powerful and secretive forces? Is the study of particles and black holes merely a cover for something far more mysterious? Then there are the reports of strange occurrences and unexplained events surrounding CERN's work. Some individuals claim to have witnessed inexplicable phenomena near the collider: strange lights, unnatural sounds, or even disturbing dreams after spending time near the facility. Could these be mere coincidences, the result of the immense energy generated by the LHC? Or might there be something more, a deeper, unexplainable connection between CERN's experiments and the mysteries of the universe? The strange lights and sounds reported by some locals near CERN have only fueled speculation, leaving many to wonder if the collider could be affecting not just the physical world, but also the very fabric of reality itself. The historical context of CERN also adds an intriguing layer to the mystery. CERN was founded in 1954, during the early years of the Cold War, and it has long been a center of international scientific collaboration. But the era in which it was founded, along with the secrecy surrounding some of its more sensitive experiments, has led some to suggest that CERN's true purpose was not merely to advance scientific knowledge, but to serve as a front for research into more covert, possibly even weaponized technologies. Could the LHC and its experiments be tied to secret military projects hidden from the public under the guise of academic research? The answer to that question remains elusive, but the potential for such a connection cannot be completely ruled out. What remains most unsettling, however, is the ambiguity surrounding CERN's ultimate goals. While scientists continue to break new ground in understanding the universe, the public remains in the dark about the full extent of CERN's work. There is a lingering question that hangs over the facility like a cloud. What exactly are they searching for? The LHC, with its near-limitless capacity to explore the subatomic world, may be the key to unlocking the secrets of the cosmos. But could it also be opening doors to realms we are not prepared to understand? Could the search for fundamental knowledge be inadvertently leading us into perilous territory, where the boundaries of time, space, and reality are no longer certain? CERN's work continues to captivate, and its mysteries remain unresolved. As science advances and new discoveries are made, the questions surrounding this powerful institution continue to multiply. Whether one views CERN's experiments as a crucial step in humanity's journey to understand the universe, or as something far darker, one thing is clear. We may not yet fully grasp the consequences of what is happening in the depths of the Earth. What lies beyond the veil of scientific discovery? And what, if anything, is hidden from us at CERN, waiting to be uncovered? As we turn our attention from the enigmatic depths of CERN to the towering peaks of the Earth, we encounter a place that has long captured the imagination of those who seek to understand the unknown. Mount Shasta, rising majestically from the Northern California landscape, is not only one of the tallest volcanoes in the United States, but also one of the most mysterious mountains in the world. Its snow-capped summit, visible for miles around, stands as a stark and silent sentinel, watching over the forests and valleys below. To the casual observer, it is a natural wonder, an awe-inspiring peak that draws hikers, climbers, and nature lovers to its slopes. Yet, to those who delve deeper into its history, folklore, and the countless stories that have emerged from the region, Mount Shasta is far more than just a geological feature. It is a place where the lines between the natural and the supernatural blur, where unexplained phenomena and strange occurrences have long been part of its mystique. Located in the Shasta Trinity National Forest, Mount Shasta is a dormant stratovolcano, though it has had several eruptions over the course of its long history. Its imposing height, over 14,000 feet, makes it a focal point in the surrounding landscape, and its presence has influenced not only the physical environment, but also the people who have lived near it for thousands of years. Indigenous tribes, such as the Modoc, Karuk, and Shasta peoples, have long regarded the mountain as sacred. They believed that the mountain held spiritual significance, a place where the divine and the earthly realms met. For them, the summit was not simply an object of admiration, but a powerful force, a nexus between worlds. The mountain's status as a place of spiritual importance persists to this day. People from all walks of life are drawn to its slopes, not just for its natural beauty, but for the mysterious energy they believe it holds. Mount Shasta is widely considered a spiritual hotspot, attracting seekers of enlightenment, mystics, and even those interested in the more esoteric aspects of reality. It is said to be a place where the mind can experience heightened states of consciousness, where the veil between the material world and other dimensions thins. Some claim that Mount Shasta is home to hidden civilizations, particularly one called the Lemurians, an advanced race believed to have once inhabited a now submerged landmass called Lemuria. These beings, according to certain fringe theories, are thought to have survived their civilization's destruction by retreating into the mountain's depths, living in secretive underground cities that remain hidden from the eyes of the world. The legend of the Lemurians and their supposed connection to Mount Shasta is one of the most enduring mysteries tied to the mountain. The tale has its origins in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, emerging from the work of mystics and writers who sought to explain the lost civilizations of the past. The story goes that the Lemurians were an ancient and highly advanced race of beings, spiritually and technologically superior to modern humans. When their homeland sank beneath the waves, they retreated into Mount Shasta, where they allegedly built an underground city, continuing to live in isolation. According to some accounts, these Lemurians are still said to inhabit the mountain to this day, hidden from the world above, their advanced knowledge and wisdom waiting to be discovered. The most intriguing aspect of the Lemurian legend is the idea that Mount Shasta is not simply a dormant volcano, but a gateway to hidden realms. For decades, there have been reports from individuals who claim to have encountered strange beings or to have had unusual experiences on or near the mountain. Some hikers speak of mysterious lights seen flickering in the sky, while others report inexplicable changes in the air around them, such as sudden drops in temperature or feelings of disorientation. There are even stories of people who claim to have encountered beings they describe as tall, luminous figures, or beings of light, who may be connected to the Lemurians or other otherworldly entities. While many dismiss these stories as mere fantasy or the result of overactive imaginations, there is a persistent undercurrent of belief that something extraordinary is happening in the vicinity of Mount Shasta. Could it be that the mountain is a location where ancient knowledge has been preserved, hidden away from the rest of the world? Could there be a subterranean city beneath the mountain, one that has eluded discovery for centuries? Or could the mountain itself be a place of spiritual power, where the very energies of the earth concentrate in a way that allows for these otherworldly experiences to occur. Beyond the lore of the Lemurians, there are other strange occurrences that have added to the mountain's enigmatic reputation. For example, the area surrounding Mount Shasta is known for its vortexes, locations where the Earth's magnetic field is said to be unusually strong, creating disturbances in the natural flow of energy. These vortexes are thought to be places where the material world and other dimensions or realities may intersect. Some believe that these vortexes are gateways to alternate realities, or even time portals, and that they play a role in the strange phenomena experienced by those who venture into the area. Another theory associated with Mount Shasta is its connection to UFO sightings. The mountain has become a hotspot for those interested in the possibility of extraterrestrial life. There have been numerous reports of unidentified flying objects being seen around the mountain, with some witnesses claiming to have seen craft that defy conventional explanation. Could these phenomena be related to the mysterious beings said to inhabit the mountain? Or could the sightings be the result of a more scientific explanation, such as atmospheric anomalies or experimental aircraft? The truth, like many aspects of Mount Shasta, remains unclear. Despite the countless stories and legends that swirl around Mount Shasta, there is little concrete evidence to support the more fantastical claims. The scientific community remains largely skeptical of the mountain's mystical reputation, with many suggesting that the strange occurrences and experiences reported by visitors are simply the result of natural phenomena, electromagnetic disturbances, psychological factors, or the influence of local geology on human perception. Yet, even these more grounded explanations do little to diminish the mountain's aura of mystery. The unexplained lights, the strange feelings of otherworldliness, and the countless stories of encounters with beings from beyond continue to capture the imagination of those who visit or study the mountain. So, what is it about Mount Shasta that draws people into its orbit? Is it simply the breathtaking beauty of a dormant volcano, or is there something more to the mountain that eludes our understanding? Could the legends of Lemurians, UFOs, and hidden civilizations be based on a kernel of truth? Or are they the product of myth and imagination? As with so many mysteries, the answers remain elusive, and the question lingers. What might still be hidden within the shadow of Mount Shasta, waiting to be discovered? The mountain's silent presence continues to loom over the land, an enduring symbol of the unknown. And perhaps in the end, that is what makes Mount Shasta so captivating, the mystery itself. As we leave behind the towering presence of Mount Shasta and its whispered legends, our journey now takes us to the sun-scorched deserts of southern Peru, where one of the world's most enigmatic and mysterious archaeological landscapes unfolds, the Nazca underground chambers. Far from the famous aerial lines etched into the earth, hidden beneath the surface lie subterranean constructions that challenge our understanding of ancient engineering and the purposes of early civilizations. These chambers, tucked beneath the Nazca Plains, are a realm largely unseen by the public, a place where shadows and history intertwine to create a puzzle that has confounded researchers for decades. The Nazca Desert is a landscape defined by its extremes: relentless sun, arid winds, and an earth that stretches endlessly under a sky of brilliant blue. From above, the region is famous for its geoglyphs, the Nazca lines, that depict everything from hummingbirds to spiders. But beneath this parched surface, carved into the rocky substrate, are a series of chambers, tunnels, and passages that speak to an ancient culture capable of remarkable feats of engineering. These underground spaces vary in size, some large enough to walk through comfortably, others tight and constricted, forcing explorers to crawl. The walls are often lined with stone or adobe, in some cases bearing subtle engravings whose meaning has yet to be deciphered. Here, Far from the sun and the desert winds, a different world exists. A shadowed world that raises as many questions as it contains answers. Archaeologists believe the Nazca people, active roughly between 100 BCE and 800 CE, were responsible for constructing these subterranean chambers. The mainstream explanation suggests that these chambers served practical purposes, storage for water, food, or ritual objects, providing shelter from the harsh desert climate, or functioning as ceremonial spaces for spiritual practices. Yet the layout of some of these chambers challenges simple categorization. Some tunnels extend deep and seemingly without purpose, twisting and turning in ways that are difficult to reconcile with purely functional design. Others converge in a manner that suggests intentional alignment, possibly with astronomical phenomena or cardinal directions. Why would a society dedicate immense effort to build passages that lead seemingly nowhere? And what knowledge guided their construction? Beyond their physical peculiarities, the Nazca underground chambers have yielded intriguing artifacts. Small stone figurines, pottery shards, and remnants of ceremonial items hint at the spiritual or ritualistic significance of these hidden spaces. But the scarcity of definitive records and the deliberate secrecy of the chambers suggest they were never meant to be widely known, even among the Nazca people themselves. Were these spaces intended only for the elite, the spiritual leaders, or those who held secret knowledge of the desert's mysteries? And if so, what truths were meant to be preserved away from the gaze of the ordinary populace? In recent decades, the study of these chambers has revealed features that challenge our understanding of ancient technology. Some tunnels display remarkable precision in their construction, with smooth stone walls, complex interlocking passages, and ventilation systems capable of regulating airflow, a sophistication that, for its time, seems extraordinary. How did a society without modern tools achieve such precision? Were they employing techniques or knowledge that has been lost to time? Could there have been influences from other unknown cultures or even knowledge of natural forces that allowed the Nazca to manipulate stone and earth in ways that still puzzle modern engineers? Speculative theories surrounding the underground chambers range from the intriguing to the extraordinary. Some researchers have suggested that the tunnels served as conduits for spiritual energy, places where shamans or priests could perform rituals to communicate with higher powers, or to channel forces from the earth itself. Others have posited that the chambers could have been used for astronomical observations, acting as underground observatories that aligned with celestial events, such as solstices or planetary cycles. And more fringe theories suggest the possibility that the tunnels were part of a sophisticated network for contact with entities or civilizations beyond our own, perhaps even extraterrestrial. Could the Nazca lines, when viewed from above, be connected to these subterranean passages below, forming an intricate system that spans both surface and subterranean space? What is particularly perplexing is the secrecy that still surrounds these chambers. Unlike the geoglyphs, which are visible and widely studied, the underground structures remain largely inaccessible. Many are located on private lands, hidden beneath shifting sands, or in areas that are environmentally fragile, making excavation or exploration difficult. Modern technology, ground-penetrating radar, 3D mapping, and infrared imaging has revealed additional chambers yet to be studied, hinting at a network far more extensive than previously thought. How many chambers lie undiscovered beneath the desert floor? And what stories, knowledge, or artifacts remain hidden from the world? The Nazca underground chambers also invite us to reflect on the cultural and spiritual mindset of the ancient builders. The Nazca people left no written records explaining these subterranean passages, and yet the care, precision, and effort invested in them suggest that their purpose was of great importance. Were these chambers a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, places where the living could commune with the ancestors or the cosmos itself? Or were they practical constructions, whose advanced engineering merely coincided with the ceremonial and symbolic beliefs of their creators? The absence of definitive answers only deepens the allure of the chambers, leaving modern observers to grapple with the possibility that we may never fully understand the intentions behind them. Adding to the mystery are reports of unusual phenomena experienced near the chambers. Explorers have occasionally noted unexplained acoustic effects, strange electrical readings, or sensations of disorientation when venturing into certain tunnels. Some suggest that the underground network may interact with natural energies in ways that ancient peoples understood intuitively, but that modern science is only beginning to comprehend. Could the Nazca have been aware of properties of the Earth itself, harnessing them in the construction of these hidden spaces? Or are these modern observations the product of human imagination in response to a setting that is, by its very nature, mysterious? As we contemplate the Nazca underground chambers, we are left with questions that echo through time. What drove the ancient Nazca to carve such elaborate passages beneath a desert that is unforgiving in its heat and dryness? What knowledge, rituals, or secrets were meant to be preserved within these silent tunnels? And perhaps most unsettling of all, what might still lie undiscovered beneath the sands, waiting to reveal truths that could challenge our understanding of history, engineering, or even the spiritual connection of ancient civilizations to the world around them? The Nazca underground chambers, hidden beneath one of the driest and most extreme landscapes on Earth, remain a testament to human ingenuity, mystery, and the enduring allure of the unknown. As explorers and researchers continue to probe these subterranean corridors, we are reminded that history is not always written on the surface. Sometimes it lies beneath our feet, silent, shadowed, and waiting for those brave enough to seek it. What secrets remain locked within the earth of Nazca, and how much of our understanding of the ancient world is still buried, unseen, and unexplained? As we leave the desert sands of Nazca and the hidden subterranean chambers behind, our journey now moves from the ancient and enigmatic to a fortress of modern secrecy, the Cheyenne Mountain Complex. Carved deep into the granite of Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado, this sprawling facility is a monumental testament to human engineering, designed not only to withstand the forces of nature, but also to endure the unimaginable threats of the modern world. To the casual observer, it is a mountain like any other, its rugged slopes and forested flanks blending seamlessly with the landscape. But beneath the surface lies a labyrinthine citadel, a place shrouded in secrecy, where history, defense, and mystery converge in ways that continue to capture the imagination of the public. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex was constructed during the height of the Cold War, a time when fears of nuclear annihilation were not theoretical but deeply real. The facility was designed to be a command and control center, capable of monitoring and responding to threats against North America, including potential nuclear attacks. More than 2,000 feet inside the granite mountain, the complex contains a network of tunnels, blast-proof doors, and reinforced chambers capable of withstanding extreme shock waves, earthquakes, and even nuclear detonations. Entire buildings, roads, and power systems exist within the mountain, a hidden city designed to function independently from the outside world. It is as much a fortress as it is a command center, a subterranean citadel built to survive the apocalypse. The known purpose of Cheyenne Mountain is impressive enough. It houses the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, a facility designed to track incoming missiles, monitor airspace, and coordinate military responses. Its radar systems and computer networks are unmatched in scale, and its tunnels and chambers contain rooms dedicated to communications, operations, and living quarters for military personnel who could be stationed there for weeks at a time without ever leaving the mountain. In essence, Cheyenne Mountain is a city within a mountain, a marvel of engineering built for endurance and secrecy. Yet, as is often the case with facilities of such scale and secrecy, the Cheyenne Mountain complex has been the subject of speculation, rumor, and conspiracy. The veil of restricted access has fueled countless theories, ranging from the plausible to the extraordinary. Some claim the facility is not merely a military command center, but also a hub for monitoring extraterrestrial activity. After all, NORAD's mission to track objects in the sky could easily overlap with unidentified aerial phenomena, or UFOs, and reports suggest that certain areas within the complex are equipped with sensors and equipment specifically for this purpose. Could it be that Cheyenne Mountain holds records or even evidence of phenomena that the public has yet to see? The very structure of the complex adds to its mystique. Entire chambers are carved from solid granite, connected by tunnels designed to absorb shock waves and withstand catastrophic impacts. The main blast doors weigh hundreds of tons and are designed to protect the facility from almost any conceivable disaster. These measures are not purely symbolic. They represent a level of foresight and engineering sophistication rarely seen outside of classified projects. But why, many wonder, was such extensive preparation required? Was it solely for the protection of human decision-makers? Or might it also serve as a shelter for secrets humanity is not yet ready to confront? Some researchers and conspiracy theorists have suggested that Cheyenne Mountain may contain deeper, hidden purposes, extending beyond its official role in continental defense. Could there be underground vaults storing sensitive technologies, alien artifacts, or information so dangerous it cannot be released to the public? Others speculate that the complex is connected to other subterranean military facilities, forming a network of underground cities designed to maintain control in the event of global catastrophe. While these theories remain unverified, they persist, driven by the secrecy and inaccessibility that surround the mountain. The history of the facility also adds a layer of intrigue. Cheyenne Mountain has been operational since the 1960s, surviving decades of political upheaval, technological change, and shifting military priorities. During the Cold War, it was regarded as a critical component of national security, a literal fortress capable of enduring the unimaginable. Its construction, however, was shrouded in secrecy, with workers sworn to silence and the true scope of the project concealed even from some government officials. How much of the mountain's underground labyrinth is publicly known, and how much remains deliberately hidden? Reports and testimonies from former personnel hint at unexplained occurrences within the complex. Some speak of areas so heavily restricted that even high-ranking officials are denied entry, leading to speculation about what is concealed there. Others recall anomalous readings in certain sections, equipment that behaves unpredictably, or doors that seem to operate independently of known mechanisms. Are these simply the quirks of a vast and complex facility, or could they point to something more extraordinary, something beyond our current understanding of technology and the natural world? In recent years, Cheyenne Mountain has been partially decommissioned, its functions redistributed to other facilities. Yet it remains fully operational as a contingency command center, a stark reminder that the mountain's secrets are not confined to history. The idea that an entire mountain could house an autonomous city, capable of surviving nuclear war or other global catastrophes, challenges our understanding of scale, engineering, and human ambition. And the more we learn about the mountain, the more questions arise. Could Cheyenne Mountain serve as a gateway to understanding a level of technological and strategic thinking that is otherwise invisible to the public? Might it be more than a command center, a repository of knowledge, artifacts, or even phenomena that governments choose to keep hidden? And if so, how much of the mountain's story will remain untold, locked behind massive blast doors and buried deep within solid granite? The Cheyenne Mountain Complex, both a monument to human ingenuity and a fortress of secrecy, stands as a symbol of the lengths to which civilization will go to protect itself, and perhaps to conceal truths that we are not yet prepared to confront. Its tunnels, chambers, and hidden corridors remind us that some mysteries are deliberately kept from view, that the unknown is sometimes protected as rigorously as it is explored. As we peer into the mountain's depths from the outside, we are left with a lingering question. What truly lies hidden within Cheyenne Mountain, and how much of the world's most guarded knowledge remains locked away, silent and unseen? As we emerge from the solid granite of Cheyenne Mountain and its labyrinth of secrets, our journey now leads us to another domain of extreme restriction and enduring mystery, Area 6. While much of the public imagination has long been captivated by the infamous Area 51, whispers of Area 6 have persisted in the shadow of its more famous neighbor. Hidden deep within the Nevada desert, surrounded by arid plains, jagged mountains, and a network of restricted airspace, Area 6 is a place largely erased from public maps, a location so secretive that even the most detailed satellite images reveal only vague outlines and obscured structures. To the casual observer, it is merely another stretch of desert. But to those who have studied it, Area 6 represents one of the most enigmatic and disturbing restricted zones in the modern world. The geography of the site itself is as forbidding as its reputation. The desert floor stretches endlessly, broken only by rocky outcrops and the occasional cluster of military buildings. Surrounding the area is a network of checkpoints, fences, and patrolled perimeters designed to prevent any unauthorized access. The terrain is harsh, the sun relentless, and the isolation profound. This remoteness is not incidental. It is deliberate. For decades, the government has maintained a level of secrecy around Area 6 that surpasses almost every other facility in the United States. Its very existence is whispered rather than confirmed, and yet, within this secrecy, stories and reports have emerged that hint at extraordinary activity. Historically, Area 6 is thought to have been developed as an extension of the broader network of restricted military zones in Nevada, possibly intended for experimental aviation, weapons testing, and other classified programs. Some researchers suggest that the site was used to support top-secret aircraft development programs during the Cold War, serving as a testing ground for craft that defied conventional aerodynamics and pushed the boundaries of human engineering. Unlike Area 51, whose history is somewhat documented through declassified projects and whistleblower accounts, Area 6 has remained nearly impenetrable, with virtually no official acknowledgement of its operations. Despite the scarcity of confirmed information, numerous accounts from former military personnel, aerial observers, and investigative researchers have added layers of intrigue. There are reports of vast underground facilities within Area 6, extending far below the desert surface. These subterranean chambers are said to be equipped with advanced technology, energy systems, and environmental controls capable of sustaining operations independent of the outside world. Some speculate that the underground networks could house experimental aircraft, prototypes of advanced weaponry, or other technologies that the public is not meant to see. Others suggest more speculative possibilities: storage of extraterrestrial materials, testing of unknown energy sources, or even research into unconventional physics phenomena. The secrecy surrounding Area 6 has naturally fueled the imagination of conspiracy theorists. One of the more persistent claims is that the site is part of a network of government facilities designed to reverse engineer technology recovered from unidentified aerial phenomena. These theories posit that Area 6, like its more famous counterpart, may serve as a testing ground for craft capable of extraordinary feats: hypersonic flight, anti-gravity propulsion, or even interdimensional maneuvering. While these ideas remain unverified, the continued absence of clear information only intensifies speculation. What is undeniable, however, is that the extreme secrecy surrounding Area 6 has created a vacuum, one filled with questions that may never be fully answered. Another layer of mystery concerns the apparent links between Area 6 and other secretive sites across the world. Some researchers have suggested that Area 6 is a central hub in a global network of high-security military and research facilities connected to underground installations in Europe, Asia, and other parts of North America. The implication is that whatever occurs within the Nevada desert is part of a broader program, one so sensitive that it requires not only secrecy but also layers of compartmentalization, preventing even insiders from knowing the full scope of activities. Could Area 6, then, represent not just a testing ground, but a command center for projects whose implications extend far beyond conventional military strategy? Reports of anomalous activity near the site further deepen the sense of mystery. Local residents and aerial observers have occasionally reported unexplained lights in the desert sky, strange sonic phenomena, and even craft moving in ways that defy conventional understanding. Are these simply advanced aircraft tests, optical illusions, or atmospheric effects? Or could they indicate the operation of technology or phenomena that challenge the very boundaries of known physics? The desert itself seems to hold its secrets tightly, with harsh conditions discouraging exploration and maintaining the isolation that makes observation difficult. Some speculative accounts suggest that Area 6 may also be connected to psychological and sociological experiments, testing human responses to extreme secrecy and isolation. If the underground networks are as extensive as some claim, could they be used for controlled experiments, not just on technology, but on individuals, whether military personnel, test subjects, or unknowing observers? These ideas may seem extraordinary, but they highlight the persistent uncertainty surrounding the facility. When access is restricted and information is limited, the line between reality, conjecture, and fear becomes blurred. Interestingly, Area 6 has remained largely absent from mainstream discussion precisely because of its extreme security. Unlike other classified sites, which eventually leave traces in declassified documents, whistleblower accounts, or investigative journalism, Area 6 has evaded confirmation. Its very erasure from public consciousness creates a paradox. The less we know, the more the mind seeks to fill in the blanks. In this sense, the desert surrounding the site functions as a natural barrier, but also as a psychological one, inviting curiosity while protecting what lies within. The enduring question, of course, is not only what is housed within Area 6, but why such extreme secrecy is deemed necessary. What kinds of experiments, technologies, or knowledge require isolation to such a degree that even the existence of the facility is treated as sensitive? And if the activities here are indeed extraordinary, what might they reveal about human ambition, ingenuity, or even the unknown realms of science and possibility? These questions remain unanswered, their only presence felt in the speculation, the occasional report, and the enduring aura of mystery that surrounds the Nevada desert. As we reflect on Area 6, it becomes clear that the facility embodies the intersection of human ingenuity and secrecy, where the boundaries of the known world meet the shadow of the unknown. Its underground chambers, restricted airspace, and heavily guarded perimeters hint at possibilities that are almost unimaginable, while the silence surrounding it ensures that its secrets remain beyond reach. What truly lies within Area 6, advanced technology, hidden knowledge, or perhaps something entirely beyond our comprehension, is a question that may never be answered. And yet, it is precisely this uncertainty, this enigmatic presence hidden beneath the desert sands, that continues to captivate, disturb, and compel us to wonder what remains hidden within Area 6 and how much of our world's most guarded knowledge is still unseen. As we emerge from the stark secrets of Area 6, our journey turns from the hidden deserts of Nevada to the frozen expanses of the Arctic, to a place whose quiet purpose is both extraordinary and haunting: the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. situated on the remote island of Spitsbergen in the Svalbard archipelago, far north of the Arctic Circle. This facility is a modern ark of life, a repository designed to safeguard the very essence of global agriculture. At first glance, the vault appears unremarkable, a simple, angular structure carved into the permafrost of a mountainside, its black entrance set against the endless white of snow and ice. But beneath this austere exterior lies a profound undertaking, the preservation of millions of seeds representing tens of thousands of plant species from every corner of the world, all stored in near immaculate conditions, frozen in time. The location of the vault is as deliberate as its purpose. Svalbard is isolated, geologically stable, and naturally cold, providing a naturally protective environment for the seeds. The permafrost acts as a natural freezer, while the remote location ensures minimal human interference. Yet, even in this extreme environment, the facility is engineered with redundancy, temperature-controlled chambers, backup generators, and layers of protection against the unexpected. Here, in the silence of the Arctic, humanity has attempted to create a fortress not for weapons or power, but for life itself, a sanctuary that could endure earthquakes, wars, and even global catastrophe. The vault officially opened in 2008, intended as a global insurance policy for agriculture. Nations around the world send duplicates of their most important seeds, ensuring that if a local or global crisis destroys crops or genetic diversity, the contents of the vault could help humanity rebuild. Millions of samples are stored inside, from common staples like wheat, rice, and corn, to rare and heritage varieties that may have vanished from the surface world. To most, the vault represents hope, a hedge against famine, climate change, and the vulnerabilities of a planet increasingly shaped by human activity. Yet, for a place designed for preservation and safety, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault carries with it an aura of subtle unease. Its location, while chosen for practical reasons, evokes imagery of isolation and secrecy. Carved deep into a mountain, buried beneath ice and stone, the vault is largely inaccessible, and only a small, select team has the clearance to enter. What does it mean, we might ask, that humanity has placed the survival of its crops, its food, and ultimately its civilization in such a hidden, almost cathedral-like repository? Is the vault merely practical foresight, or is it a symbol of something more profound, an acknowledgement of vulnerability, an acceptance of global uncertainty, and a silent testament to the fragility of human civilization? The design and operation of the vault are straightforward in principle but remarkable in scale. Inside, the seeds are stored in airtight containers, meticulously labeled and organized according to species and origin. Temperatures are maintained at -18 degrees Celsius, -0.4 degrees Fahrenheit, ensuring that the seeds remain viable for decades, even centuries. Each shipment represents a global story, a fragment of human ingenuity, culture, and history preserved under the Arctic ice. The sheer scope of this project is staggering. Millions of seeds, sent from nearly every nation, cataloged, preserved, and locked away from sight, awaiting a future that may require their existence. Beyond its practical purpose, however, the vault has inspired speculation and even a quiet fascination with what lies beneath the mountain. Some observers suggest that the vault's existence is not purely about agriculture, but about contingency planning on a scale rarely imagined. Could it be that the vault is preparing humanity for more than natural disasters or crop failures? Might it serve as a safeguard against societal collapse, global conflict, or even environmental cataclysm? The silence and isolation of the Arctic amplify these questions, leaving the mind to imagine scenarios in which the seeds within this icy chamber become the literal seeds of a new beginning. Stories and theories surrounding the vault also intersect with human fears and hopes. In recent years, the facility has had to contend with the unexpected consequences of climate change itself. Rising temperatures and melting permafrost have raised concerns about water infiltration into the mountain. In 2017, heavy rainfall caused temporary flooding near the entrance, a stark reminder that even the most secure and remote locations are not impervious to the forces of nature. The vulnerability of the vault, despite its extreme precautions, underscores a profound truth. Even our best efforts at preservation are ultimately tested by an unpredictable world. Some speculative discussions extend beyond the vault's intended function. Could it be that, beneath the mountain, the Svalbard facility is a model for other types of preservation, repositories for knowledge, DNA, or technology, intended to survive a collapse of civilization? Could future generations encounter not only seeds, but messages, instructions, or artifacts meant to guide humanity in rebuilding its world? The notion may seem fanciful, yet the vault's silent presence in the Arctic evokes imagery of a time capsule, a buried archive designed to speak across centuries, to preserve life and possibility in the face of uncertainty. Despite the scientific and logistical certainty that governs the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, the human imagination cannot help but linger on the unknown. Who decides what is worthy of preservation? How might future civilizations interpret or use the contents? Could there be undisclosed areas of the vault reserved for items that extend beyond agriculture? A hidden archive meant to safeguard humanity's most precious biological or intellectual resources. And perhaps most hauntingly, if the seeds are ever needed, will the world be ready to use them? Or will their survival outlast our capacity to nurture them? Ultimately, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault embodies a paradox of human ambition. It is at once a marvel of engineering, a repository of hope, and a monument to the fragility of civilization. Buried beneath Arctic stone, it is silent, remote, and enduring. Its contents invisible yet vital, frozen in time yet full of potential. It challenges us to consider not only the material preservation of life, but the existential questions that accompany such foresight. As we reflect on the vault's icy stillness, we are left with a lingering question. What stories, knowledge, and potential futures lie hidden beneath the snow and rock of Svalbard, waiting to be awakened? And how prepared are we to confront the consequences of the world that may one day need these seeds? In this frozen chamber of life, humanity has created a quiet sanctuary for survival, yet it is also a mirror of our vulnerabilities. A place that reminds us how much of our future, our history, and our potential depends on what we preserve and on what we may never fully see. As we leave the icy stillness of the Svalbard Global Seed Vault behind, our journey now descends into the mysterious depths of a place hidden not beneath ice, but beneath the earth itself, the Longyou Caves of China. Situated in Zhejiang province, these vast underground chambers are an enigma that has puzzled historians, archaeologists, and engineers for decades. At first glance, they might appear as ordinary rock formations, yet upon closer inspection, they reveal a deliberate and monumental feat of human construction. The caves, numbering dozens and spanning tens of thousands of square meters, are carved entirely from sandstone, their sheer scale defying conventional understanding of ancient engineering capabilities. Walking through the entrance of one is to step into a world suspended between time and shadow, a subterranean landscape of columns, halls, and vaulted ceilings that seem to whisper secrets long forgotten. The Longyou Caves were accidentally discovered in 1992 by local villagers who were draining a pond, only to find that they had been standing above one of the largest underground complexes ever built. Since that time, over 30 interconnected caverns have been identified, though the full extent of the site may be much larger than current explorations suggest. Each cave is enormous, some chambers measuring over 30 meters in height, with widths exceeding 20 meters, and ceilings supported by intricately carved columns. The sheer volume of rock removed is staggering. Estimates suggest that millions of tons of sandstone were extracted, an undertaking that would have required immense labor and precision. Yet despite this incredible effort, there is no historical record of the cave's construction, no inscriptions, no artifacts that clearly explain why or by whom they were built. What makes the Longyou Caves particularly intriguing is not just their scale, but the uniformity and precision with which they were excavated. The walls are remarkably smooth, the ceilings etched with parallel grooves whose purpose remains unknown. Tool marks are visible in some areas, yet they do not correspond to any known techniques from the period suggested by the local strata or surrounding archaeological evidence. The caves are remarkably dry, with natural drainage systems that keep water from accumulating, an engineering feature that would have required sophisticated planning. And yet, despite these advanced characteristics, there is no mention of the caves in historical records, even though their construction must have involved the labor of thousands of workers over many years. How could such an immense undertaking leave no trace in the historical record? Scholars and engineers have proposed several mainstream explanations, suggesting that the caves may have served as reservoirs, ceremonial halls, or storage facilities. Some believe that they were intended as shelters from natural disasters or political turmoil, a hidden refuge for the local population. Others suggest that the grooves and columns may have had acoustic or symbolic functions, perhaps related to spiritual practices or rituals that have been lost to history. Yet none of these explanations fully accounts for the scale, precision, and sheer ambition of the project. How could an ancient society, without modern machinery, achieve such feats? And why would they invest so much effort in a structure that leaves almost no direct evidence of its purpose? More speculative theories attempt to bridge the gap between what we can observe and what we cannot explain. Some suggest that the Longyou Caves may have been connected to unknown or lost technologies, evidence of a civilization whose capabilities exceeded the documented history of the region. Others posit that the caves may have been part of an underground network, linking distant locations in ways that remain invisible above ground. There are even hypotheses that the structures could have had astronomical or mystical significance, designed to manipulate light, sound, or energy in ways that were understood intuitively by their builders. While these theories remain unverified, the absence of definitive evidence only heightens the sense of awe and mystery surrounding the site. The silence of the caves themselves is profound. Entering one, the air is cool and still. The only sounds the echo of footsteps and the distant drip of water. Shadows dance across the smooth walls, shifting as the light moves, revealing patterns and angles that hint at deliberate design. The scale of the chambers creates a sense of disorientation. It is easy to feel dwarfed by the vastness, to wonder what it must have been like for the workers who carved this monumental underground world by hand. And yet, despite their labor, they left no records, no narrative, no explanation. A deliberate or unintentional act that has rendered the caves a riddle across centuries. Adding to the enigma are occasional anomalies within the caves. Some columns appear to be carved from a single piece of rock, with no visible joints or seams. Certain chambers exhibit acoustic properties that amplify or distort sound in peculiar ways, prompting questions about whether the builders had an understanding of resonance or vibration. Water channels and drainage systems run with such precision that even modern engineers are impressed. Could these features have served practical purposes, ceremonial functions, or something entirely unknown? And if the latter, what knowledge did the creators possess that has since been lost? The Longyou Caves also invite reflection on human ambition and the nature of secrecy. For a civilization to undertake such a monumental project in silence, leaving behind no inscriptions or records, is to challenge our assumptions about what ancient societies valued and feared. Were the caves meant to hide knowledge, to preserve it for future generations, or to protect it from enemies? Were they sacred spaces, practical utilities, or experiments in engineering and design? The absence of answers forces us to confront the limits of our understanding, to consider that some human achievements may never be fully explained. In contemplating the Longyou Caves, one cannot escape the tension between what is visible and what is hidden. Each chamber, each carved column, each perfectly smoothed wall speaks to a purpose that remains just out of reach. They are a testament to skill, vision, and endurance, yet they are also a reminder of the gaps in our historical knowledge. What drove the builders to invest so much effort into an underground world whose function they left unrecorded? What secrets remain in the deepest recesses, still unexamined, still silent, waiting for a curious observer to uncover them? The Longyou Caves, hidden beneath the rolling hills and fields of Zhejiang, stand as a monument to the unknown. Their scale, precision, and secrecy defy easy explanation, inviting both awe and contemplation. They challenge us to think beyond conventional history, to consider what has been lost, forgotten, or deliberately concealed. As we move through the shadows of these vast chambers, the question lingers: what was the true purpose of the Longyou Caves, and how much of human ingenuity lies hidden beneath the earth, waiting for discovery? In the end, the caves are more than an architectural marvel. They are a mirror of human curiosity and the enduring allure of mystery. They remind us that beneath familiar landscapes, entire worlds may exist, carved in silence, preserved in shadow, and awaiting the moment when we dare to explore their depths.